Well, sorry about that rough cut there. I hit the play pause button expecting it to stop VLC. And yeah, I forgot I forgot the hotkeys on my keyboard don't work. Shazam says 0x. Really? Yeah, well, that's a Windows error code. And that is funny if it actually said that, because that was the Windows XP welcome music, if you guys remember that from back in the day. We'll see if I get a copyright strike for that. I have no idea. But I saw Superconductor, or sorry, Supper Conductor, asking what I'm drinking tonight. I am having a Spotted Cow from the land of Wisconsin. It's a land of beer and cheese. If you guys haven't been there, I highly recommend it. So I am a little excited today. I just got this in terms of gadgets. My my S10 was messing up, and if you guys are looking to upgrade, Samsung has a promotion on trade-ins right now, and they gave me $550 on a trade-in for my S10 Plus, which is like a 2.5-year-old phone. So I upgraded to the S21 Ultra, and they gave me $100 credit too. So I got the flip case with the S Pen. So I'm going to see how I can use the pen, hopefully take notes and do little doodles and stuff. But I don't really get excited about phones anymore, but this is actually a really welcome upgrade. Like, you can't see it here, but because it's only 60 frames a second, but dear God, this display is buttery smooth. It's just a fast phone. So, yeah. I was wanting to keep my S10 Plus for a while, but the accelerometer kept like hanging. So when I go to rotate, like you go to take a picture, you know, and you're not in, you know, idiot mode, you rotate it, it wouldn't auto rotate, and you'd reboot and it'd work for a couple hours. But it met the criteria for a trade-in, and it was out of warranty. So I was like, well, we're gonna go ahead and just trade that sucker in, and I'm gonna get a new one. So. Yeah, the S10 Plus was a nice one. My wife has that directly from Samsung. Best Buy didn't have anything for promotions. So, but yeah, I'm a nerd. I like technology. I skipped a couple generations. I think there's a 20, there's a 10. They went to the 20, right? So I jumped one. But yeah. So yeah, you can't get this out of state. This every time my wife or one of her friends comes down here, I have them bring me 2 or 3 cases of it. But it's such a good beer. So let's see. This is for another video. I'm gonna be putting these guys here and the MOSFET we sell. These come in a bag if you buy them from us. I just grabbed them instead of wasting a bag. I'm going to be putting these and the MOSFET on our CR10S Pro that's sitting in my garage. It's been down. So I'm going to be putting on Tough Tube. I got 1 meter here. That's pre-cut. If you guys do order tubing from us, if you order like 10 meters, it'll come in one continuous length, unless you like specify otherwise, which is good. And I have our PTFE cutter in my drawer. I have my Smarties for when I'm finished up, and when you guys order from us, you get this little pack in, and we started doing this because this actually is useful information. So we have little goodies. We got a sticker and candy, so you get sticker and candy with all your orders, and this little card is what we pack in to all of our orders here. So instead of us printing out all the manuals and creating a ton of paper waste, we have information here on how to contact us, how to get to our help center, and then also you can keep this around because I typed up a little thing. I actually designed this card, which is probably why it looks like crap. But anyways, I made just like quick temp references on here, printer maintenance reminders, and then you know, links to communities and our help center and stuff. So it's a handy little reference card to keep by your machine. So. But in my order, my TH3D order here, I've got my EZABL Pro kit, so I'm going with the 18mm sensor on here. So the kit will come with the sensor, zip ties, the control box with power wire, and I'm also going to be changing out Creality stock fittings because we all know how well they're known for longevity. I'd rather just replace them now since I'm working on it. I'm changing the PTFE tube. I just do this. I do this proactively. But this one uses on the extruder and the hot end the PC4-M10s, and I've linked to all of these products we're using in this stream in the video description. So, and then also the 350 watt 24 volt power supply we carry. This is a Meanwell, genuine Meanwell power supply. No knockoff shit here. And that's it. I also have, if we have time tonight, I don't want this to go much past, like 1 a.m. is kind of the cutoff. It's 10 p.m. here, so she gives us 3 hours. We'll get all this on in a couple hours. I also have one of our EZABL kits here. It's actually running off the PoE injectors we carry. So if you guys haven't seen this, if you have PoE switches, we now carry USB-C PoE splitters. So you can see here, I'm running the Pi off of my PoE network switch. So this is delivering power to the Raspberry Pi here. So it's really good. I previously shut this down before I started the stream, so don't think I cold shut it off. Always shut your Raspberry Pi down because you can corrupt the OS. But these are really nice, and I really like these. We use these on our print farm all the time. Every single machine that has a Pi has one of these on it. And it's a USB-C with a gigabit pass-through. So this goes to the network port on the Pi. This goes to the power port. You plug this into your PoE network switch, and it powers it up. So it's really nice, so I don't have to have an AC adapter for every single Pi taking up another outlet. It's all run off my network switch. Now, you have to have a PoE-compatible switch for these to work. You can't just plug this into your, Comcast or AT&T router. It's not going to do anything. You have to have a PoE switch, and you can find them for pretty cheap nowadays. And it doesn't have to be gigabit as long as you guys pick up a switch that's 802.3 AF compliant, which most switches are. That's the older standard. That's up to 15 watts of output is what the PoE 802.3.AF standard allows for. But they're great. So I use these on my machines here. I use these in our farm. We got a small quantity of these in because we use them all the time. And as we're adding more machines, we started needing these. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to order I think we ordered like 50 of them. I was like, I'll throw them on the store. Maybe someone else will like them. So, but yeah. So let's get into the upgrades. Let me switch over to the other camera here. Let me see how we're looking here. And this will be a more casual stream. I've got a beer. This is me sharing my upgrade path with you. I think this is really all this printer really needs. Oh, I forgot. I totally forgot because I got it when we were on the stream earlier today. I'm putting our 260 by 260 flex plate system on here. So the EasyFlex 2, we got the mag sheet, okay? And this has got the adhesive already on it and the plate. So I'm going with the textured on this one. And the physical bed is 290 by 290, but our print area by default is 250 by 250. So this is 260 by 260. So this will cover the entire print area for this machine since we do not have a 290 by 290 plate. So I was going to run the office here in night mode. But the reality is it's going to be way too hard to try to see everything. And it's just going to look weird. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn my overhead lights back on. I lose the cool effect. M. Poffenbarger said, so you had a new Pi image. You have some agreement with the Spaghetti Detective to get more monitoring than the free account. No, that is the free account. So their free account is 10 hours of their AI print failure detection, which is really cool. I'm trying to get, I got to talk to them about us setting one up where we can run that on our server here. Because the problem is with us, we have 30-something machines, or actually it's more than that. I think it's 43. Let me check Octofarm. 46 machines. So if you're a home user, it's only got 3 or 4 printers. Whatever, bandwidth's not a huge issue. And plus, we don't need to access ours outside of the shop here. I'm here all the time. But it's a really cool thing because you don't have to open any ports to use it. You literally run the plugin, you create an account on their website, go through the wizard, it links your Pi to the Spaghetti Detective account, and they're using AWS, so they're relaying data from the Pi to the AWS and then to your device. So there's no port forwarding at all. And the AI thing is really cool because it actually uses your camera, and it will detect if your print came loose off the bed, you know, or if your print's just failing in general. It actually looks at the camera and does AI processing on it to determine if it's a fail or not, and you can have it alert you if it is. My favorite part about it is the remote access, so there's no port forwarding or anything. You should never be forwarding your Octoprint ports directly to the internet. It's a terrible idea. Yeah. So, anyways, let me get the filament off here. I have my wireless mic on today since I know we're going to be moving around. So we should be good. If it cuts out, it's just something we're going to have to deal with because it's a wireless mic. It's the downside of a wireless mic. And I don't really know what's a better one than what we have. I think this one's like Shure brand or something. I can't remember. It's Shure or something. Samsung? Shure? I have no idea. Apparently I put a label over the brand name. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the EZABL mounted up here. So I've already got the mount that I designed this weekend on here, and I'll show you guys what that looks like, and we'll go ahead and get the sensor all mounted. So the mount that we have, and this is available in the STL files, the firmware for this and the products for the LCD kit are not live yet. You can sign up to be notified. Tomorrow I will be stocking them. So you can see here, it mounts with the 2 screws here. There's 2 on the fan shroud. You take these off, you put the mount on, 1 screw there, 1 screw there, boom, the mount goes on there. So let's get our cable routed and sensor installed, and we want to install this correctly so we don't damage our cable. All right, let me see here. Oh, wait, I just realized Nightbot does not do what I think it does. Hang on. Timers. Ah, that's not what I was looking for. Okay. I had it do like a store plug to do like reminders and stuff, and it just reminded me I have to turn the form on for the giveaway because it's a live stream. Hey, the Spaghetti Detective guys are replying to me right now because I wanted to send out a little message on our site. So let's see here. All right. Let's get into it. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my EZABL kit, and it comes in 2 parts. You get the sensor and then the control board. We use the same control board for the minis and for the regular size 18s. So basically, unless your printer can't fit an 18, you should just go with the 18. They both perform the same. The 18s are just cheaper to make because they're bigger. We can use larger components that don't cost as much. But same technology is inside them. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this mounted. And we've got about 1.5 meters of cable on here. So plenty of cable. And this one I know I'm going to want to put the nut right under the little screw hole here. And we're going to take the bottom one off. We're going to put this through the mount. Just like that. And then we'll get the actual we'll get the height set to what it should be, which should be 2 millimeters higher than the nozzle once we get everything done. So I like to just put it in there, snug it up, and now we're going to do the cable management. So whenever you're routing your EZABL cable, you want to kind of leave like a little loop here, and if you look in the guide, there's a picture of it. So if any of you guys go, I didn't know, it's because you weren't reading the manual. So see, I leave a little loop here. This acts as strain relief. So it's, see, if this is moving back and forth, that's not moving that much, versus if I have it up here, because see, a lot of guys do this, they pull it up here, versus this. Do you see how much more that moves? And it pulls on the cable? This will break your sensor wire, and this is not covered under warranty. So make sure you guys leave a little loop here. Do you see the difference? That much movement, if you mount it correctly. So I'm going to put a zip tie like right here, versus this, which a lot of people do. Do you see that? Big difference. So And I just realized I should probably do the PTFE tubing now because I'm going to put a zip tie on this whole assembly here to route the EZABL cable. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to swap the PTFE tubing out. And to do that, we're going to turn the printer on. I'm going to heat the nozzle up to 240, and then we're going to take this out. I am going to cut the factory zip ties here because we want to get rid of this cable or this PTFE tube. And these have little locking tabs on them, if you guys see here. These have little locking tabs, so we want to take these locking tabs out. I'm not going to cut them, I'm just using my side cutters to get in here and pull these out. So pull the little locking tab out. There's also one on the extruder here. All right. So I'm going to my LCD. I'm telling it to heat the nozzle to 240. Am I back? It looked like it dropped. Streamlabs said it was reconnecting. Okay. It looks like we're back. Anyways, I was saying 3D printing paste. He's asking about Pi 3s and heat sinks and fans. I don't think the Pi 3s need fans. They did not run that hot. Yeah. Many folks are moving the extruder up to the top back, shorter Bowden tube. Is that an option you would consider? Yeah, I'm not really gonna be worried about it because so here's the thing: the internal diameter. We'll even take measurements. I'll show you, so you know I'm not talking out of my ass here. The internal diameter of this tubing is going to be like 2 millimeters or more. Ours is 1.9. So, I'm not worried about it. I have an Ender 5 Plus with our tough tube. I'm probably going to have to lower the retraction on this a lot on the profile I have. All right, we're at like 215, so I can pull the tube out. I'm going to take the filament out first. This is why I hate mounted filament sensors. See how much of a pain in the ass this is to get this out? All right. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and press here on the top of the fitting. And there we go. Pull the tube out. And you can see there we got some plastic in there because this is in the melt zone. All right. So what I'm going to do is just to show you guys. Let's take a look at the internal diameter here. So I'm going to go ahead and put my calipers in here. Help if I unlock them. Look at that. 2.13. Okay, 2.13. That's a sloppy tube. That's cheap shit. Now, I'm going to use this tube, the tube I took off here, as I'm going to cut the tough tube to the exact same length as this tube. So I'm going to take the tough tube out of its little baggie here. Yeah, our stuff I feel like is more consistent than Capricorn. It performs better. You're just paying for the name since they were the first guys on the scene. You might even be able to see this. Look at the difference between... maybe not. It's kind of hard to see, but I'll show you with the calipers. You can see how round ours is. A lot of issues I've had with Capricorn back in the day, before we had this product, is that this hole would not be centered, which screws up extrusion. Like, I don't know where they have their tube made or who makes it. So, you see what I'm doing? I'm holding the two ends here. I'm rolling this out. And I'm going to hold this there, pinch it, and I'm going to cut it right at the end here. So, I got my little cutter here. These are crucial for getting a nice clean cut. Okay, now let's take a look at the tough tube and see what the idea is on this. All right, so here's my calipers at 0. There we go, 1.93. So this is the spec on this is 1.9 plus or minus 0.05. So if I pull on it, you can see I can make it bigger, but right there. So less slop. I like this stuff. So I'm going to put that in. And, oh, wait. We got to change the fittings. I forgot. I'm surprised that not the Capricorn. I'm surprised that stock tubing was 2.15. Usually they're like 2.05, somewhere around there, but 2.15 is actually pretty sloppy. I don't know if they changed manufacturers or whatnot. Yeah, I use, I can't see what that is because I can't see that far. See, someone said, I print TPU with tough tube and tough extruder. Yeah, I do too. I don't know who that is. I can't read. The text is purple and I can't read it from here. But anyways, we're just going to take these fittings out. And you can hang on to these as spares if you want, but I usually toss them. So 2 PC4 M10s, one for the extruder, one for the hot end. And we're just going to screw ours in. These come in packs of 3. And we're going to go ahead and put one there on the extruder end. And this is just one of the things I replaced because these are a pain in the ass if they go out. And I've just found ours to be more reliable. You know, you got to remember, Creality's got to save money somewhere. If they can save a couple cents per printer on each PTFE fitting, they're going to do it. They've cut costs elsewhere that have been more dangerous than some fittings. So, oh, it's tore. Oh, you shill. You damn TH3D shill. All right. So I'm just threading this in by hand, and I'll show you guys what I do to seat my tubing. Now, there is that Creality hot end fix, which does work well, by the One Bad Marine guy, a.k.a. Luke. Here's what I do. So I'm going to grab my little wrench. The wrenches that come with these machines, usually the larger one that also works on your eccentric, also fits this. So that's all the way in. Right about, oh wait, I'm going backwards. All right, so that's all the way in. I'm just gonna take this and turn it 1/4 of a turn. So, and I'm hitting the wires here, so I'm just gonna turn it a little bit with my finger. And now I'm gonna shove the tubing in. So my hot end right now is hot. It's at 240C. You want to double check. Make sure you got a nice flat cut on here. You see how nice that is? This is why I use the cutters, because they give me a nice flat cut. And we cut the tubing here with our own cutters. So if one of your ends will be nice and flat like that. So I'm going to go ahead, and you see how this has got kind of a natural bend to it? I'm going to make sure the bend, I'm not going to do it like this, because you can bend it, but it has a natural bend to it. So I try to match the bend as to where I'm going to go with the actual tubing. So this looks good. I'm going to shove this down in. Okay, until it stops, and just give it a little push, okay? And then I'm going to tighten this down the rest of the way. And hold the tube while you're tightening it. So what this is going to do is it's going to force those teeth, okay, to bite into that tube so it holds on to it. And it doesn't let it back out. Because a lot of times people have issues with these hot ends is the tubing, the coupler doesn't hold the coupler doesn't hold the tubing, and it backs out, and then you get a gap between your nozzle and your tubing, which causes clogs and other fun stuff. So there we go. Tubing is swapped out. Oh, it's looking better already. The blue, I went and grabbed a new sensor because I wanted it all to match. So we got the blue sensor, the blue tubing goes with the blue aesthetics on here. Perfect. All right, so now let's route our EZABL sensor cable. Like I said, leave yourself a little loop here. Just like that, okay? Just like that. Because, look at, when we're moving this, not much movement. Versus up here, look at that. You see the difference? That's the difference. This is why we tell you guys in the manual, secure it like this. If you don't do it like this, you will severely shorten the life of the cable. Because while these are high-quality cables, if you take any cable and bend it back and forth enough times, repetitively, over and over and over again, it's going to break internally. So, and that is in the installation guide. So I don't want to hear anybody going, well, no one told me. If you're reading the manual, it tells you. So no excuses, no excuses. RTFM, RTFM. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just zip tie this. I go every couple inches here. So I'm just going to follow this up. I could put in the wire loom, but I don't really care enough to do that. Plus, then I'd have to put it through the clamp, and I'd rather just do this. Now, I'm going to come down here and split these off. Maybe, should I split these off? Yeah, I'm going to split, because look, it's going to pull on there. So I'm going to split these off here. And we're just going to put a couple more on to hold the wire onto the loom. And do one more. Let me move this out of the way. I'll do one more right here towards the bottom. And I'll cut the zip ties flush. So these kits are really easy to install, especially if you have, if you've ever had to deal with like a BL Touch or anything. And here's the thing, we don't have to worry about any sort of interference with this long line because we use fully shielded cables on here. BL Touch uses really crappy thin, like 20 to 24 gauge, depending on the vendor, like extension wire. So, and you see, we've got plenty of cable here. So 1.5 meters of cable is what they ship with. Now, what I'm going to do is go all the way into the base of this. Now, I want to point this out. You don't, I am going to be using a little extension cable we have in our shop for a couple bucks, which I forgot to show. It's this. So this is a little Z end stop cable. It's got a 3-pin and a 2-pin on it. So this goes to your motherboard, and this goes to the EZABL. And what this does is this is going to allow me to put the control box in the bottom of the printer. Now, I can't remember if there's 1 or 2 wires going to the end stop for the Z on this. I know they kind of cut down on how many wires because you don't need it. They have like one common ground. And then they just ran the signal wires. But one thing you can do if you don't want to spend the extra $4 on the cable or you don't want to make one is you see here, here's your Z end stop. You can literally just take your snips, cut these, and then these 2 bare wires will go into your EZABL control board. Let me find, where did I put my control board? Did I put it under something? I did. All right, now I'll show you what I mean here. And I'm not going to do this. You can do this. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going with a cleaner install. So if you look here on our control board, we've got our power inputs and then our Z end stop. So this screw terminal, so you can either connect your Z end stop with a 3-pin JST or with a 2-pin screw terminal for bare wires. So these wires here would go into these screw terminals. So I just want to point that out, but I'm doing a little bit cleaner of an install. Let's go ahead and do this. So I'm going to route the sensor wire all the way down. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off because we're done with the hot end being heated. And we're going to put this on its back like a turtle. I guess this wouldn't be the back, would it? It's more like its side. And my wrench, oh hey, it flew out the bottom. All right. So I'll cable manage this later, but I'm going to shove this down in the crevice right here. See right here? In the corner here? Where my finger's coming through. I'm just going to put my sensor wire right through here. And let's see. Look at that. Plenty of cable left to work with. So now I can hide the control box for the EZABL down here. And let's take a look at their Z plug. Let's see if they have a 2 Z plug or if they cheaped out and they went with a 1. So we've got X, Y, that's filament, and Z. Z is a 1. Z is a 1. You see this? It says Z minus. This is a single wire here. So they're sharing a common ground, which is fine. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out. Hopefully I can get it out without breaking it. I might have to grab my needle and pliers because they like to hot glue everything. All right. There we go. So there's the Z cable disconnected, and that will allow me to take our little adapter cable and just plug this right into there. So there we go. Now I don't have to worry about cutting anything. I can easily revert if I need to, like especially for like firmware testing and stuff. It's nice to be able to revert. Should probably do the power supply next. What do you guys think? Or should I do it with the stock power supply first? Do we do the power supply next? Or what? What do we want? Do we have a retail shop in Hobart? No, we do not. I do not like dealing with people in person. Dealing with people on the internet is bad enough. Yeah, just do the power supply. Just get it done and over with. Use it till it fails? No. No. I have it. I'm working on it. I'm doing it all now. I gotta take my hoodie off, but my microphone is getting caught on it. So this looks like the mic that Louis Rossman uses. I actually looked up the mic he uses. That thing is like $600 just for the microphone, not even for the actual transmitter. I was like, Jesus. I thought I had expensive taste. I was a retail for years. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and turn this back up. There should be 4 screws on the back of this that'll take this out. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect these. My printer's unplugged because we don't want to get the shocky. So that'd be bad. So I'm going to disconnect these. And it looks like they're using Redford line. Look at that, isn't even in all the way. Do you see this? It's not even in all the way. I didn't even notice that. This must have been a Friday printer. Let's see. All right, so there's our AC lines. There's our DC lines. And then now we can go up top and pull the... there should be 4 screws in the top. Yep. I see them. There's 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the 4 you take out. Right there. You guys see them right here? These 4 you take out. And those look like 2.5s. I'd be right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There it goes. All right. Now, getting the new one in is going to be fun. Now, these holes should line up with the stock one. So, here we go. Meanwell, genuine. All right. I wish I had a scale in here, but this actually feels kind of heavy. It's not heavier than the Meanwell, but it's not super light like some of the other ones. I'll have to do some testing on that one and see how bad it is or good it is. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put 1 screw in up top here. So I'm putting 1 screw in up top here. I got my hand on the other side. I'll line up that 1 hole. And if this Changling's a knockoff, this should bolt right up. Oh, wait. Got to set my power real quick. You see it's on 230. Although I think there's a cutout there, but I'm just going to set it now. So I'm going to set this to 115 because we're in America. And we use 115 on that 200-something volt stuff. America. All right. Okay, that screw went in. Yep, the bolt hole is exactly the same. Exactly the same. So the 350 watt Meanwell 24 volt will just bolt right up. This is more of a peace of mind thing. That Changling may work fine for a while, but I've had too many close calls with things smoldering for me to justify cheaping out. Like, it's like, these are like $40. Like, is it really worth it? Obviously, it costs me a little less because, like, we buy them in bulk, but still, I'm not going to risk having a meltdown in my print farm because I was trying to save, like, 30 or $40. So, all right, so we're going to put line to line. So line was red. Put that in there, tighten it down. Black was the neutral. Usually they use red for line and black for neutral. In the US, your black is supposed to be line and white is neutral, but, they're China. They do what they want. I mean, it works as long as it's terminated correctly. I'm just being a stickler at this point. All right, so we got red, and they use red for positive, so that's correct. So V plus. And V minus. All right. So now all I have to do is get power run for my EZABL. Where am I going to mount my EZABL? So I got this wire coming in here, this wire coming in here. I could just zip tie it to one of these mounts. I don't see any extra screw holes around here that I could tie it to. It doesn't weigh much, so it's not that big of a deal. So basically you got your sensor plug here. Here's our Z end stop, which goes right there. And then our power. So where am I going to mount this? I could double stick tape it, or I could just say screw it and zip tie it onto this cable. I think I'm just going to do that because it's got a lid that snaps shut. That's why we have these holes. They're not specifically sized for anything. They're just M4 size holes or 4mm holes, and it's so you can do stuff like this where you can, you know, attach it to some wires, or you could put a bolt and a T-nut through it. Like, you got to remember, the EZABL is a universal product that's meant to work on multiple different machines. It's not just meant for Creality machines or just for ANET machines or so on and so forth. So that's kind of our logic behind doing that. So I've done this quite a few times where you just put it around a wire, let it hang out, and it just does its thing. And then once you get all set up, you just forget that it's there, because once you set this up, you don't have to go back into this little box. It just runs. I'm trying to see where the other end. Oh, it went up into the case. I gotta snap the board back in. We used to glue these in, but then people kept complaining, so now they're just like kind of a snap fit. Except this one doesn't want to snap in. But we have the lid locks in here, so there we go. All right. So let's go ahead and snip that, snip that. Let's get our EZABL sensor wire in there. There we go. And I'm just going to bundle up this extra wire here. I'll have it come over here behind the wires. Now, for power, we can pull off of a couple different locations, okay? We can either come right off of the power supply here and here on these V plus and V minus. This, I believe, is an always-on fan header. Yes, it is. This is an always-on fan header, so you could also wire your EZABL power to this screw terminal. I'm going to go right off of here, off the power supply, and the wire we include is a 2-conductor wire, and it's solid core, so it's pretty easy to position and work with. So let me just go ahead and cut off a length here. There's 1 meter of this included, and this is solid core, real copper, none of that copper-clad aluminum shit. And I'm going to need to come up right here, so right about there. I'm going to carefully strip that. There we go. I didn't nick the wires. I'm just going to strip about 5 millimeters off the end here, because these will go into the screw terminal. So just like that. And we'll go a little longer on the other side to go into the PSU. And I'm going to strip this a little further back. There we go. Just light pressure. When using side cutters for stripping, or these snips, all you need is very light pressure. So, and there's like 0.05 amps of current going through these wires, so you do not need to use crimps on it. You can use crimps on it if you want to, but it's really not needed. The EZABL is pretty low power for a device. So I'm just going to stick the solid end under there, under the V minus. The other reason we go with the solid, it actually is really easy to get this into little screw terminals like this. And even the ones on our board, because they, you know, you're not dealing with a bunch of strands. Give it a little tug, make sure it's secure. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to route this up through, there's little like cable holes here. I'm just going to route this up through those and come back down. And positive is, they're marked on the board, so I'll show you guys a close-up. But positive and negative are marked on the control box. You can see it there. Up. You see positive, negative. So red goes to the right and black goes to the left. This is all in the installation manual, but I just like narrating it since you're all here watching. So I'm going to go ahead and just unscrew these. This is the screwdriver that comes with the sensor. It is the, and I quote, according to Teaching Tech, world's tiniest screwdriver. It probably is up there with how small it is. But we're only using it to calibrate the sensor and put in a couple small wires. So I thought it was a nice inclusion with the Pro Kits. So that way you're not searching around trying to find the right one. We just include the right one. It works on the screw terminals, and it works on the sensor. And also, because you can't get a ton of torque on this, it makes it really hard if you're using that to over-torque this. So at that point, this is all connected. So all my wiring for the EZABL is done. The next thing is I need to update the firmware, and I need to check to see if N119 is triggering. If it's not, I'm going to come under here and flip this little switch, which will change the wiring around. And then once we're done, you'll go ahead and you'll put the cover on here and snap it in place. Now, these lock in hard, so don't snap this until you're ready to finish up your build and installation. But at this point, we should be good. If I put power into here, we should get a power light on there. Might help if I turn the power strip on. There we go. And if I touch the sensor, there's power light. If I touch the sensor, the red light should come on if the sensor is working. Yes, it is. See that? There we go. So the sensor is working. So, that's it in terms of the EZABL install. It's that easy to install one. It's just power, your Z end stop, and plug the sensor in. That's it. So the nice thing about this, and if you go look on forums, you'll see people frying their control boards with the BL touches because they don't get the 5-volt wiring correct. There is zero chance of this happening. You could short these two wires out, nothing will happen to your control board. You can put 120 volts AC into our EZABL control board. It will completely fry our kit, but it will not touch your printer board because there's no electrical connection between this side of the PCB for the Z end stop and the power circuit. So we've designed this with ease of use and idiot proofing in mind. Also, if you hook the power up backwards on here, we have a diode that protects it, so you can't wire it backwards. It just won't work. It won't blow anything up. Whereas a BL Touch, I can't tell you how many guys have seen our Discord server where they're trying to put an or trying to put a BL Touch in, and they completely fry their board. So, you know, and sometimes the BL Touch too. There is zero chance of that happening with an EZABL. Absolutely zero because of how we have it designed. So, anyways, so what we need to do now is set up the firmware. So let's go and switch over to my PC here. I got to close out some of my stuff here. I got to have some more beer. I forgot my beer. It's getting lonely here. Oh, look at that. Nightbot's doing my plugs for me automatically. That's fantastic. It's actually working. Let's pull up VS Code. Now switch over to the main monitor here. So this was the one I was working on for the Ender 6 on the last stream. I do believe that I do believe that I changed some stuff in here. I can't remember if I did it on my actual, if I did it in that code or if I did it on the actual Marlin branch or our Marlin branch. Yeah, I did. So I've already measured the offsets here. So let me get a fresh copy of our firmware. Oh, wrong one. Oh, Wait. And then this firmware is not live on our website yet because I have not gotten the products done yet, and I wanted to test it with an actual EZABL. I'm pretty confident that it's going to work on the first try, but I prefer to push out tested code instead of this will probably work code. So, all right, so I'm just assembling our firmware here. So like when you guys download the zip files, they're already pre-packaged up, so you can just open them in VS Code. I just had to do that manually. All right, so let's see. Let's see if my code works. So if my code works, I should just be able to uncomment this. Tell it to enter 6 OEM mount. And that should be it. I'm gonna see if this will do the super fast probing. You don't need to disable fast probe. This overrides fast probe. Let's see. Let's see if Joe notices this. This is sarcasm, by the way. But also, I did code a setting in here, and I'm not going to turn on mine. There's so you can actually address 265 by 265 on this, on mine anyways. Who knows if Crowley changes stuff, but if you uncomment this line here, it'll actually tell it you have a 265 by 265 bed instead of a 250 by 250. So there's that. You know what? I'm going to do that because I have a 260 by 260 plate. No, because I'm a 5mm short. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to do a 260 by 260 plate. Let's see. So that should be it. Just my ABL probe mount. I have the stock extruder. I set my custom name. That should be it. I'm not going to use any of these other options. So let's go ahead and compile this shit. Where's the SD card that I used from the stream? Here it is. Oh, while this is compiling, let's go ahead and install the EasyFlex on here. So to do that, we're going to need to remove these bed clips. So this printer has little clips on the bed, if you guys notice, in the front and the rear for that stupid glass plate. So if we look here, there's one here, and these in the back. If you have a CR6 and you get our flex plate 2, you're going to want to remove those tabs. These should be 2.5 mil. Oh no, they're 2 mil. Where's my 2 mil driver? Here it is. All right, so I'm going to go under here and just grab the nut that's holding it, and I'm going to go ahead and just unscrew these because we do not need these. We're moving into the 21st century. No more glass. We are flexing. So these upgrades I'm doing on this machine is basically my standard loadout for a printer at this point. ABL, EasyFlex, the tough tube. The only thing I didn't grab was the solid mounts. I totally forgot to grab those. I'm sorry. I don't know if I have a set of them in my drawer here or not because I also do the solid mounts. Oh wait. Oh, I've got a set of universal ones. So we can do that. We can do the universal kit. So this will replace the springs. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn the power off. And we're going to go ahead and get rid of these springs. This universal kit should fit this machine. So I'm going to spin the wheels off on the bottom. All right. Let's go ahead and get rid of the springs. See how that looks. Yeah, we should be fine. I'm going to take those other 2 out. So let me grab these screws out of here just so they don't get lost. And I'm going to take these back clips out. Now, you don't need to remove the bed to take the back clips out. I'm just doing this because it's easier. And there's springs on my floor. You know, I'm some kind of special. I forgot that this bed disconnects from here. So if we look here, you'll see you've got the cutouts here in the corner. for the little retention things, and then these are in the rear, and you literally just unscrew them. It's a nut and a bolt. So let me take these off real quick. Just grabbing these nuts off of here with my pliers so I can unscrew the bolt that goes into them. Don't be a DPT and try a filament sensor. He didn't read the manual. Oh yeah, no, he's an idiot. He's an absolute idiot. Look in our merch shop. Go to th3dstudio.com, click merch at the top. You can get your very own Prusa Stole My Idea shirt. That's in the same font and layout that he uses for his logo. And there's also a Michael Stole My Vids. If you want to wear some real life shit posting. Yeah, no, I saw that. I do agree, though. I have one of those sensors, and they're freaking huge. Like, I'm working on our own that will do the same thing, that should cost the same or less and be much, much smaller. So, I'm working on that with Joe from Project R3D. So... Yeah, I have my fun. Yeah, that I don't understand why that guy even is still getting viewers. Like, we should play a drinking game where we watch his videos, and every time he mentions his patent, we have to take a shot. Every time he talks about Prusa having a sock puppet farm, we take a shot. Yeah, that'd be entertaining. Also, we'd be completely hammered after about like 5 minutes on one of his videos. Yeah, it looks like the universal mounts will work fine on here. That's probably what I was going to grab anyways. You can also just get spacers if you're cheap, but we have ones that look nice. They're aluminum rounds that are pressed into an ABS part, and you can do this if you put an ABL sensor on. So EZABL, BL Touch. I highly recommend you solid mount your bed. It's one of the best things, I think, that is something you could do once you have an ABL sensor. So, all of our beds here are solid mounted. So I am going to remove the Z end stop now, and this one has, there's like this little rod in the back here, right here, that hits the end stop. I'm going to get rid of this. And then I'm also going to unscrew the Z end stop because this replaces the Z end stop. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect it from the control board back here. And then there's one screw here that holds it in place. I'm going to go ahead and take that out because we no longer need it. And of course, that's a 2.5. And I just had a 2 in here. So go figure. And we want to get this out of the way so it doesn't get in the way of anything if we're homing. So there we go. Z end stop removed. And the firmware's done compiling, so we just have to do the M119 test, make sure that switch is in the right position. If it isn't, we flip it, run the test again, and then we got to calibrate our sensor and make sure it's mounted at the correct height on the bed. So let me copy the firmware file to an SD card. And this printer board does have a bootloader. I was thinking about putting an easy board in here. I do have a couple of refurbs laying around, but honestly, I'm probably just going to run the stock one and see how well it performs. Because even though I have more options on the easy board, for this machine, it's probably not going to make that big of a difference. Now, if this dies, I'll put one in, but I'm pretty sure we can get easy board running on here. But for right now, we're going to stick with the stock board. Oh, I need to get my... Now, here's the thing. Instead of the M119 test, which requires you to connect your computer, I'm going to show you guys how to test it without the computer. So I'm going to put the bed all the way down, okay? And you're going to want to reset your EEPROM. So I'm going to go to configuration on the LCD, and then reset EEPROM, reset, and then you'll hear the confirmation beep. And so here's how we know if we have our switch in the right position. So I moved my bed, so we got plenty of travel here, so I can cut the power. So I'm going to hit auto home, and then it'll go to the center of the bed, and it'll start homing Z. Now, if the switch is in the right position, if I touch it, see how the bed stopped? Okay, my switch is in the right position. If it wasn't, then this bed would keep moving. You cut the power, flip the switch, turn it back on. But you can also send an M119 to your printer with the firmware and see if it should read open, if there's nothing underneath it, and it should read triggered if you're touching it. So the next step is we're going to let it well, don't home it yet. I'm gonna move my axis up. Let's see here. This is gonna take forever to move it with the LCD, so I'm just gonna push it up here. And we want to make sure that our sensor is mounted 2 millimeters above the nozzle. And what's the word I'm looking for? And then we're going to calibrate it 2 millimeters off the bed. So I'm going to raise this up, make sure my nozzle is touching the bed. There's some filament on here, so I'm going to heat this up and let it get hot because the filament's preventing us from going all the way up. And I'll show you guys what I'm looking at here, and I'll put it into manual focus mode so it's not sitting here hunting the entire time. Okay, so I'm going to manually move my Z up. I'm going to tell this to heat so my nozzle's nice and mushy. Because you can see there's, do you guys see the filament stuck on there? And my sensor is triggering. I could tell it to home because it's actually triggering at a very high distance. But that's fine. We're going to go ahead and calibrate it anyways. But what I want to do is see it's hitting the filament. See a little bit of filament on the end there? It's hitting it. We're only at 100. It's kind of soft. Okay, so what we want to see is 2 millimeters from nozzle to bed. Okay, and this we adjust with our mounting. So I'm pretty close. I don't know if you guys see this. I'm pretty damn close. I could leave it, but I'm not. So I'm going to drop this down a little bit. So I'm going to just go ahead and put the wrench there, unscrew this, and now we're sitting on the wrench. So I'm going to put the top nut till it touches the mount, and I'm going to tighten up the bottom one. And these are just finger tight. These are plastic. You can crack them. All right, so let's go ahead and push the bed back up. There we go. Nozzle touches, wrench touches sensor. All right. So the next thing we need to do is calibrate the sensor. So I'm going to move this till it's touching the bed, and I'm going to go to my LCD, and I'm going to tell the Z to move 2 millimeters in the positive direction. So on this printer, it's going to move it down. So I'm going to go ahead and tell it to move Z 1 and 2. Okay? Now, you can have your bed heated. These sensors are not sensitive to the temperature like some older ones were. But just for shits and giggles, we'll go ahead and let this heat up so I can talk to you guys. So I'm going to tell this to go to 60C. But you can see there, so the total distance from nozzle to bed is 4 millimeters. So this is 2 millimeters higher than the nozzle, and the nozzle is 2 millimeters off the bed when we calibrate it. So I'm going to actually turn live chat off and just do this so I can clip this out into like a little quick bit or something. So hang on. When you're mounting your EZABL sensor, you should have the sensor total distance between the tip of the sensor is 4 millimeters to the bed, And as you see here, we have the nozzle I'm screwing it up. Hang on. Let me start that over. Cut. Cut. Let's put it back at 0. Let's try this again. So right now we're looking at our EZABL probe, and the probe is 2 millimeters higher than the nozzle, and you can see the nozzle is touching the bed. When we calibrate the probe, we want to move the Z down 2 millimeters, or in this case, it's down, but it's actually 2 in the positive direction because this is a Cartesian machine with the bed moving in Z. But now we should have a distance from the tip of the nozzle to the bed of 4 millimeters. You can see the nozzle is 2 millimeters off the bed, and the probe is 4 millimeters off the bed. So at this point, we can move on to the calibration. Right now, our bed is at our normal printing temperature, and what we want to do is adjust the calibration screw on the side of the sensor until the light shuts off, and then we're going to go back and turn it on. Now, if your light's already off, you can ignore this part, and by off, I mean it's not red. The red means it's triggered. So right now, this is triggered, and we need to turn it counterclockwise to get it to go green. And you can see it goes green, and now I'm going to go back clockwise slowly just until it turns red. And that's it. Our sensor's calibrated. All right, end of the little segment there. So I'll cut that out. I'll cut that out and use that for a video. How's that? But it's that easy to calibrate your sensor. So we do have directions, but people don't like reading directions, so it'll be nice to cut this out and show them. But at this point, I can actually home it. So we know it's reading the sensor. Our end stop settings are correct. So I'm going to go ahead and hit auto home. So if we look at that again, there we go. Now let's see what this gets for the M48 test. I'm really curious to see with this bed. So let's go ahead and have that run the M48 test. So it's going to home, and then it's going to take a bunch of probe samples. I know BL Touch users are looking at this like, what? You can probe that fast? Yes, yes you can. It's possible. Ah, look at that. It's so low. Let me run it one more time. I don't know if that's a Marlin bug or if we really just achieved that good of a probe test. Let's see. Oh, man. I think I'm going to have to chalk this up to this. The accuracy is just too freaking good. I've never got them back to back like that, to be completely honest. Holy shit. Let's reset the EEPROM again. I'm gonna store settings. I always like to do store settings. Now, the reset EEPROM does store settings, but I just like, I don't know, I'm weird. So I'm gonna power cycle this. Let's see what we get. I'm gonna put the bed back to heated too, because that was with the bed on. If it gets again, I'm just gonna say this is the perfect probe, and I'm never getting rid of it. You know, Joe doesn't watch my stream, so he won't get a chuckle out of my name, because I called this the Daedalus Killer. Oh, I'm in the wrong menu. Temperature, we're gonna let that preheat PLA, because we want to have the heaters on, because this is going to add more interference that the probe has to deal with. So I love our kits. Like, obviously I'm biased, like, clearly, but I wouldn't be selling them if I didn't think they were the best thing on the market. Like, oh, screwing up, test with a paper or something. I could just put my finger there, or you know what? I could slide a plate under it. I could slide a flex plate under it. All right, let's go back here. Let's try it again. Let's see if a power cycle does it. I've never gotten them back to back like that. I've gotten them occasionally, but never back to back like that. There we go. That's much more realistic. That's usually what I see on our probes. Is like 0.002, 0.003. Here's the thing. You want this number to be 0.01 or lower. So we are 0.002437. So that means our deviation is 0.002437 millimeters. So that's how accurate this probe is within. So 0.002437 millimeters, aka it's more accurate than we need, which is how I like it. So at this point, we're done with the install. We've upgraded our tubing. I just got to put the flex plate on, and now we're going to run a print. So here's a pro tip. So the adhesive we use on our EasyFlex plates is actually, the manufacturer 3M says it likes to bond better when you're at like, I think it's 50 to 60 C or it's 40 to 50. Either way, my bed's heated right now. I'm going to go ahead and here's how we're going to size this. So I just homed this. So that means I can print all the way back to this corner. So I marked this bed out on the other stream, but what I'm going to do is just put the nozzle so it touches the plate here. Hang on, let me grab the magnet. The bed's hot and the plate's wanting to pop up because of the temperature differential between the two materials. All right, so I've got the nozzle at the corner of the magnet. So the magnet is on here. That's where my nozzle homes. And now I'm going to put the magnet on. Now remember, this is printer's print area by default is 250 by 250. This is a 260 by 260 magnet. So if I put this right here, this is going to cover my entire print area. And then when I line the, when I put the plate on, as long as I line up with the magnet, it's going to cover my whole print area. So what I'm going to do now, so I can stick it, is I'm going to just mark out the corners here with a marker. And we will eventually have 290 by 290s if there's enough demand for them. But this is what I do. When I have a printer that comes in that we don't have the full coverage, like this whole plate, you don't print on this whole plate. This printer can't even print all the way out to here. You want to cover what is printable. So you see there, I marked it out. I'm going to apply that. And before that, I'm going to clean the bed with IPA. And speaking of alcohol, I'm out of my beer, so I'm going to have to get another beer. Just be careful. Don't wipe off the marker we just put on. That little corner will be fine. I should have cleaned it before I marked it, but too late for that now. All right. That nice and clean. And I'm going to apply this. Go ahead and peel a corner. This is a 260 by 260 sheet, so they're all the same. I'm going to line this corner up. Looks good on the other sides. Press it down. Now we're just going to apply the magnet. I should have locked the bed. Should have had it heated. Oh no, it's going down every time I push. Bam. Look at that. So, now when I put the plate on, just line it up. Boom, flex plate. And I can get my finger underneath here to get it off. Put that on. Wham! Bam! See what I did there? Except, these do not cost an arm and a leg. And they actually come out of the same factory. And we don't claim to own our factory, because that'd be lying. Let's see here. All right. Now, I should not need to recalibrate my probe. I'm just going to see how it looks. Now, you can recalibrate your probe if you want to every time you change surfaces. I typically don't. I'll just adjust my Z offset. Now, we don't have a Z offset because I just installed this, but I don't typically recalibrate my probe. I'll just adjust the offset. Yeah, our nozzle's not even getting close to touching the bed. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and preheat this. And we're going to get a print going. And I think I'm going to do benchy unless you guys have something else to suggest. But yeah, that's it. We're done. The upgrades are done. Just got to set my Z offset, which we'll do on the first print. But yeah, it's not that hard to put our stuff on. Just follow the installation guides. And one thing you get with the EZABL that you do not get with the BL Touch is we actually support the product we sell. BL Touch just, or Ant Collabs, who makes BL Touch, they just sell their sensor to other resellers. So if your reseller doesn't give you technical support, you're going to be hunting around on forums trying to get the product to work. Whereas with ours, if you need help, you email us, and the company that makes the product supports the product. So I think that's a huge benefit. And we know what we're talking about. Why will this filament not feed through the sensor? Is this Creality sensor seriously jammed? Oh, there it goes. I hate these sensors. But I didn't feel like putting an easy out on here. I could definitely make an easy out work on here. I just didn't feel like doing that tonight. All right. Now, actually, I already got a benchy sliced up that I ran on here. Let's see here. Don't drink the wrong IPA. All right, I do have a benchy on here. Let's just go with. Oh wait, you know what? This is not going to have an ABL profile on it. Meaning the G28. So yeah, you gotta. I was overlaid. You gotta update your slicer. This is in the installation guide. I've just done this a million times. Oh wait, no, I already have the ABL. I already have the ABL code in this slicer profile apparently. Let's see. Yep, Ender 6 benchy. Print. All right, well, we're preheating. While we're preheating, I'm going to go get another beer. How's that sound? Beer break. Oh, I totally forgot. I need to cable manage the EZABL cable back here, which is fine, and put the lid on. But we are ready to print. Those are just minor details. We want to print this shit, man. Yep, I already had a G29 in there, so there we go. Oh, wait, this is a twist off. For my next beer of the night, for my next trick, I'm going to drink a Youngling. It's America's oldest brewery. Wait, did you guys see that? Wait, did it mess up? Did it finish the probing? Or am I seeing stuff? I wasn't paying attention. All right, I'm just setting my offset. It's set. We're at negative 1.275. Oh, you know why? It started probing over here, so it went like this, and then that, and then finish over here. Okay. I'm used to this is the Core XY. I'm used to the Cartesians. They usually start over here and then end in this corner, but it started over here and ended in that corner. Okay. I'm just being special. 93 watching on a Monday night. Man, we haven't even been going for an hour. So we've got an EZABL installed, an Easy Flex, and the Tough Tube, and the fitting swapped, and it's not even an hour. Look at that. Not even an hour in, and we're printing with the new stuff. thought this was going to be like a 3-hour stream. I might be able to get to bed tonight at a reasonable time. No, it didn't skip a couple of pro points. I was just being stupid. Because it started, like I said, it started in the... I'm used to it starting in the other one, but the Core XYs, or this is YX, I should say, technically, from a config standpoint, they start in a different location. So... you need to read the instructions, Jeremy. You got to format your SD card with a 4096 byte allocation unit size. If you don't, it will not flash. It's on the directions for the LCD flashing step for the Ender 3 V2 firmware for the LCD screen. So much better. Yeah, I'm going to be putting this on my shelf over there. I think Woody's going to get retired, and this will replace Woody. I have LCD screens and the, what's the word I'm looking for? I have the LCD screens, the OEM mounts, all pre-printed. So the ABL mount I'm using on this, already pre-printed. LCD housings in ABS and PLA pre-printed. The only thing is right now we only have, I think we have like 9 or 10 of the LCDs. So we did list the housing itself separately. So if you wanted to source a Creality LCD, it's like an Ender 3 one from another source, you could. I have 200 of them on order already, but Creality's production is backed up just like everything else. Yeah, Jeremy, I'm not sure. Our Ender 3 V2 LCD was actually defective when I tried to flash it for the first time. It wouldn't take, and I had the SD slot on the back of it. There were solder breaks in the solder joints, and I had to reflow it. But I would just try another SD card and format it. Make sure it only has one partition. If you use like a SD card from an Octoprint system where you have multiple partitions, it's not going to work for flashing firmware. What mount do I recommend for a tough arrow hot end? The Pet's Fang won't work with a 1.75 V6. Well, I need... What printer are you putting it on? I use a TM3D Arrow one. That's my favorite. The Pet's Fang stuff is really good. He has another one that's specifically for the Arrow setup. But I like the Tiny Machines when it's simple. I just did a build with the Tiny Machines one, which is the TM3D Arrow. When am I going to come out with a cupola? What's a cupola? This sounds like a joke. Am I going to regret Googling this? I don't know what a cupola is. A dome? Oh, a top. A top. The Pet's Fang one there should be a Pet's Fang for the tough arrow. What's the word I'm looking for? For the arrow setup, you should just be able to print the Pet's Fang for the arrow, not for the direct. They have a direct drive that's a Titan plus a V6, but if you're doing a Titan plus the arrow heatsink and a V6 block with a heat break, you want to use something else. Hang on one second. I am getting a call from the wife. She forgot I was streaming. Well, I am. I'm streaming. What's it called? Did I use Dennis Miller? Did I use 18mm? Yes, I did. I always use the 18mm unless the machine will not physically fit it. Zach Grabber, you printed me the specific Aero Evolve. That's what I was thinking of. And the duct won't go high enough. So are you saying it's sitting too low? Because if it's sitting too low, if it's, is it not, what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? It's not hitting your print, is it? It's not sitting lower than the nozzle. I haven't tried that Aero Evolve. I can't vouch for it. Swallow Pad. Arc Welder has nothing to do with Easy Firmware. Easy Firmware is a website that compiles firmware. Arc Welder is an Octoprint plugin. So I have been playing around with Arc Welder. All of our firmware that we have, unless you have like a 1284p, or I think some of the big Tree Tech ones, stuff with more limited memory, you start turning other stuff on, Arc support will get disabled. But as long as you have Arc support enabled in your firmware, Arc Welder can do its magic. And I've been playing with it, and it seems to do a good job at smoothing things out. I can definitely optimize this profile, because you can see it does little fill-in on the walls. I can definitely optimize this to print a little faster, but this is the same G-code that I use to print this Benchy. And I actually believe I was running it at 150%, so let me make it fair and push the speed up. Zach Grabber says he wants a duct 4 millimeter higher than nozzle. I can only get it to 1.9 with the stepper bottomed out on the bracket. Bust out the Dremel. Bust out the Dremel and make it fit. Easy Firmware is a website, not a firmware. Please use the correct terms. I don't want to... People... the one thing that bothers me a lot in this hobby is people use the incorrect terms and then people repeat it, and it just creates more confusion. Easy Firmware is a website that compiles our Unified 2 firmware. Unified 2 has ARC support. Sorry if it sounds like I'm being a stickler, but I want to make sure that people are using correct terminology so we're not perpetrating, or perpetuating is the word I'm looking for. We're not perpetuating incorrect terminology, because it just confuses people, especially new people. We're cruising. It would work with a volcano, not the V6. Is it designed for a V6, or is it designed for a volcano? Julio Reyes. Oh, that's a good idea. I'll be doing product page listings tomorrow. So the stuff for this to convert the LCD, because you do need to convert the LCD to put the EZABL on here, where the Ender 6 comes with the same touchscreens that a few other Creality machines came with that are a pain in the ass to work with. So you do need the LCD conversion, but it'll be a little extra work, but I will have it... what's it called? I will have it so you can add on the screws as an optional thing. They're just little 1/2-inch wood screws. I think they're number 4, number 5 size. So, but we have a ton of them. Yeah, so the Easy Firmware site uses Platform IO on the server side, so it actually does the compile. So it gets your file, it puts it into a queue, it grabs it, it compiles it, and then it pulls the binary file that comes out and the logs. If it fails, it spits out the log files. If it succeeds, it spits out the configuration H, the firmware.bin, and the log files in case you want to review them. But yeah, so it replaces VS Code from a compiling standpoint. The whole point of it is so you can use our board without having to screw with VS Code, because a lot of people have issues with VS Code, because sometimes there's local computer issues that prevent you from compiling, or internet issues, so you never have to deal with that, because we have our server set up to compile everything correctly, and it literally takes, I'm not even kidding you, it literally takes about 10 seconds. Here, I will show you right now, so we're just waiting for this Benchy to print here. I'm not even joking how fast our system is here. I just grabbed my stuff. I always forget to lock this shit. And and then I accidentally grab it and move it all around. So this site's awesome. And this is free if you're an EZBoard customer. So let's say, I don't know, let's just go through an easy config. So we have a wizard, okay? You select all your printer options. You walk through the wizard. You can edit the configuration H file online. So if you're used to editing a configuration H file, just like I did in VS Code, you can edit the file here. You know, set your options. So like, oh, we got Ender 3 Max. I'm going to do the OEM mount. And, you know, I'm going to, I don't know, let's set this for 5 probe points and fast probing. So like I know here, Tim, stream, test, 032921. You give it a tag so you can find it later in the system. You tell it you're not a robot, and you hit submit. So it goes in the queue. Now you can see all the other stuff in the queue here. So there's nothing being compiled right now. So you can see it's compiling. And if I refresh in a second here, I think it's about 5 to 10 seconds. Last I checked. There we go. Just like that. Firmware's compiled. So you would download the firmware.bin file. You put it on your SD card and flash it. So never have touched VS Code. If you have an SD reader on your cell phone, you could use this software on your cell phone to compile firmware for your EZBoard. So, and this is free for all EZBoard customers. This only is set up for the EZBoard. You cannot compile for any other boards other than our EZBoard. Because I don't want a bunch of people using Chinese boards flooding our server that we paid a lot of money for to run this. But you can see here, and like here, so let's look at an example. Let's see what this guy screwed up. So Magic Machine 2.11. Let's see what he screwed up. So we can download the firmware log file and take a look at it. Let's see what he screwed up. Right here. So he's a BL Touch user who didn't read the directions, and it's throwing an error. You must uncomment the custom probe option in the EZABL probe mount section and then to your mount offsets below. So it tells that's where the error messages will come up. And you can see he figured it out after reading the error log, and he got a successful compile. So, but yeah. Is that Lightspeed or someone that uses the Lightspeed's same handle or avatar? Oh, let's switch back. No one wants to sit here and watch me. Although, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to go... I think... so Samantha said Remo is crying. Do you mind if I go and let him out real quick and you guys can watch his print? Maybe I'll put some music on. How's that? Let's do it. You guys can watch this because we're going to let this finish and then we'll wrap the stream up. But look how easy that upgrade was. The LCD upgrade is actually really simple too. We went over that, but the LCD upgrade, you unscrew 2 screws from the rear of the stock. You unscrew 2 screws from the rear of the stock LCD housing that comes with the Ender 6, 2 M3s from the bottom. You put our housing in there that has the LCD in, put a cable in, put the 2 M3 screws back in the bottom, and 2 in the rear. I will be putting the stock LCD back on here just to do a video on showing you how to fit the LCD on, and that will be not a live stream, but a like edited video. But it's very simple on this machine, so I'm going to go ahead and put a BRB up. How's that? There we go. Fancy. Put a BRB up, and then you guys can watch the printer print. And I'm going to go let the doggo out. So I'm going to put some music on, and I'll be back in a few minutes, okay? Tor, make sure no one gets out of hand.
Sometimes I think the word game is stuck on almost everything that isn't serious. If you play music, if you draw pictures with a computer, that's not a game. You don't get a score, but we call it games. And there's sometimes this down thing. Don't play games. Don't play around on the computer. And yet there's a lot of good can come from gameplay.
What's up, everybody? Okay, print's coming up pretty good. I had to let the dogs out. Come here. Come here. Come here. Remo, come here. Come here. Why are you being bashful? Oh, come here. Ah, I got you. Oh, there we go. There's the Remo. Oh, yeah, there we go. That definitely would have triggered Spaghetti Detective. It's a mystery item. They're hidden in some of my videos. They like to randomly show up. They're like an alien life form that I got from Banggood. Oh, you gotta whine? You gotta whine? I shall not be contained, father. Father! Look at the size of him already. Look at this. This is a big dog already. Oh. Okay, we'll let you down. Clara's here too, but she's under my desk. Do you guys want a dingo stick? Do you want a dingo stick? He's like, where is it? Where is it? Oh. We got dingo sticks. Oh. Oh. It just got serious. Look at this. You guys want these? You guys want a dingo stick? Oh. Oh, come here. You have to sit. Good boy. Clara, come here. Clara, come here. You already have one, you greedy little shit. Clara, sit. Hey, sit. You're not getting one if you don't listen. Here, Remo, you go eat yours over here. Go eat yours over there. There you go. Clara, come here. Come here. Sit. Sit. Shake. Good girl. What a greedy little shit. He just tried to steal Clara's food. Did you see that? Look at it go. It's going. She's chooching. My next thing to do is to kind of tune this and optimize it. Did I try the solid bed mounts? They're on here right now. I did the universal kit. I don't think the ones with the strain relief are really going to help this printer, so I just did the universal on here. I'll zoom out a little bit. Oh, come on, zoom out. There we go. So, no more springs. Just solid mount. There we go. Get that back on target there. I can't neglect my beer. I'd try modifying it, Zach. Couldn't you, like, cut the ducts shorter on that? The mesh is 3. I think I did a 3x3 grid. Let me check my config. I think 5 is what I did on the. I was demoing the easy firmware site, which this board can't use. Yeah, this is a 3x3 grid. So, which is perfectly fine for this. The standard ones, I think the standard ones might fit. Just the strain relief is going to be useless on it. Because it's not going to, that arm isn't extended out far enough, but you can still put it on there, or if you already ordered it and it shipped, when you get it, just cut the arm portion off, because the part where the spacer is the same round model, and we just added onto it for the strain relief arm, so you could just snip it. But that's what a lot of people do if they order like the wrong kit, and they needed the universal, but they ordered like the CR10 bed. That's the SKU. The CR10 bed was the SKU that we've had for years, and we've just expanded that because it fits multiple machines. You can just go ahead and... Why are you barking? You barking at the music? It's like 11:43. Why are you barking? There's no one here. It's almost midnight. Clara! There's no one here. I have the cameras up. No one's in the garage. No one's outside the house. Why are you barking? Are you broken? Is your people detector broken? You think someone's here when they're not? It didn't ship. I can change it, I think. Yeah, I can add a note. Post your order number. Although, maybe your name is your actual order name, because I can just have them switch it out. If it's not already staged. So if it's already staged, it'll be more of a pain in the ass. I'm not seeing any orders staged right now, so... this music is a group... Well, it's one guy called From Zero to Z. It's my buddy's boyfriend that does this music. And they're linked in the video description, too. He lets us use his music on here. Claire, go lay down or I'm going to put you back in the house. Stop being a pain. Being out here is a privilege, not a right. Dog. 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 Yes, I see you. You're pathetic. Let's see. Yeah, you're awaiting shipment still. Yeah, I can have them just sub that out. I'll put a note in here in all caps. Sub out CR10 bed for universal kit. PDH. There we go. I would recommend going to the volcano block. We have a volcano compatible block. We call it the high flow. I'm a fan of it. I think she's barking at the printer sounds because the printer is kind of vibrating a little, like it's resonating as it's printing. I'm trying to find... Yeah, I just modified it. It's in all caps, and I put -TDH. So if they don't send you that, make sure you let me know. I'll bitch them out. Oh, do you not have water? I think they drank all their water. Let me see here. I think they gave me... I gotta see if they finished processing the LCD screen housings. Okay, hang on. He's gonna be a pain in the ass because his water's empty. I know. I hear you scratching at the bowl. You're just parched. You just parched. You can't handle having no water for 5 minutes. Let me see here. I know they sent me some messages, like they processed the, what's the word I'm looking for? The housings I printed. Because they go through and process them, take off any stringing, and clean things up. Where is it? Or if you're still watching, go ahead and post what you sent me on Teams. Feel free. Dog's water should be almost done filling. I'm checking my shop technician team. Yeah, we got the casings. Those are processed. God, you would think he hasn't had water in like a week. There we go. Alright, so it looks like we've got a decent amount of the casings. We're starting to track our parts, like our printed parts now, in terms of like inventory. Is there any downside of running Volcano or V6? Not really. I don't think so, unless someone else wants to chime in. Because you can run a 0.4 on a Volcano still. But volcanoes get really fun when you start getting like 0.8 or 1 millimeter, or even 0.6 is a lot of fun because you can push a lot of plastic out of a volcano because of the longer melt zone. I've got 2 machines in my office that have the volcano style blocks on them. Alright, let's see. It looks like we've got already ready to ship. We've got 4 of the ABS casings, 5 of the PLAs, and we do let those be back ordered just because obviously we print them here in house. There's just for them to print. Let's see. Back orders allow but notify customer. PLA, we got 5 that are already ready to go. I can get more of those going before I go to bed here. Back orders allow but notify customer. There shouldn't be any price difference between the CR10 beta and the universal mounts. It's all good, Dennis. They're either the same or the universals are cheaper by $1 or $2. I can't remember. They use about the same material cost. They all use the same 4 spacers. I am going to change the LCD conversion kit to just include some extra screws because we're going to start packing. Instead of like, we have like a couple different... what's the word I'm looking for? We have a couple different like products that use the same LCD mounting screws. We kind of standardize on 1 screw. So I'm just going to update those. So those are live, and they can be back ordered because they're printed parts. So there we go. I'll have the install video out by the end of the week, but it's, I don't know if you guys caught the last stream. It's pretty easy to put the LCD in. There's 4 screws. Actually, I'll have them, I'm going to tell them, hey, if someone orders a full kit, pre-install the LCD into the housing for them. Would that be helpful? Or do you guys not really care? I'm just looking at our inventory here to see what else uses those same screws. Because we're having them just pack all of these screws into... what's what I'm looking for? Into packs of 8. So I want to make sure all of our products that use those and have them in the bundles are going in packs of 8. Do I want to buy pre-assembled Legos? That's funny. I found that using like wood screws to go into printed parts makes installation a hell of a lot easier. Because we originally did like M3 screws, and you can get M3 screws to thread in into plastic fairly easily, but they do require a little force to get started. So I found if we switch over to like the wood screws, it actually works a lot better. It's a lot easier to get everything, like to get the screw started. It's got that kind of tapered end, you know what I mean? And that goes to the coarser threads. Let me see here. I'm just checking our product bundles. Yeah, because we'll just, worst case scenario, they're like literally like 10 cents a screw. You'll just have extra screws if you order an LCD kit from us. It's kind of stuff you got to think about when you're doing stuff like this, is like standardizing all your SKUs. You know, like, yeah, we're packing bags of screws, but, you know, a bag of 5 screws versus a bag of 8 screws, that's 2 different SKUs versus just make everything take 8 screws and we can pre-pack everything into, everything take the same baggie. And then people have extra screws, which I have dropped screws and lost them, so I'm always I'm always thankful to have extra screws when in a product. Someone was asking about putting, because we're probably going to run out of the LCDs, and I know you guys, I tried to see if I can buy them elsewhere, like even like from Creality. Like Creality's got an eBay shop and there's other sellers. I can't find LCDs for anything that's worth us even buying because they're all more expensive than our price on them. For the LCD conversions for this. Oh, look at Waffles here. I see he's also on the no sleep schedule. Hi Remo, are you bothering your sister? Can you lay down like a good boy? Otherwise we'll go back in the house and we'll go in the crate. Do you want to go in the crate? No, I don't think you did. He's getting a lot better. Yeah, I'm looking. I can't find, like, the lowest price I'm seeing those Creality LCDs for is, like, over $21 shipped. And I think we're, like, 20-something on there. We gotta check. I don't know. I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know all of our prices off the top of our head. I have to look at our... I have to look at our website. Trying to find. Let me see here. I think I can make a quick listing here just as like a spare parts, like a bag of 8 LCD screws, like the ones we use for the housing. So if you buy an LCD housing separately and you want to source your own LCD, because we don't have stock on it, then you can do that. Why? It's just the printer, dog. I'm going to put her ass inside. Yeah, there's no one here. She's hearing the printer vibrating and thinking it's somebody there. Yeah, I wish Creality could get me those LCDs faster, but they're running behind on production schedule. Yeah, she's barking every time she hears this vibrate. Oh, sorry, Joe. Joe, what solid bed mounts for the Ender 3 V2? The standard ones work fine on that. Because the Ender 3 V2 has the same exact bed setup as the Ender 3. There's a lot of overlap on the Ender 3 and the 3 V2. You guys can feel free to ask me questions here. We're just waiting for this benchy to print. Like I said, so my plan is to really put this thing through its paces by just running a ton of print jobs on this and seeing what breaks. Some people told me that the motor shaft, which in my original video when I unboxed it, I saw how they had it mounted. I was like, this looks like it's going to break. People were telling me that those stepper motor shafts were breaking. So we'll see if that happens. That's a good question, Julio. So what we did, and this is the first version of the LCD kit. I may make a fancier one later on. But here's what I'm going to do. So my printer, I'm gonna take an EZPie and throw it underneath this printer and connect it underneath. But on our LCD housing, we have right here on the side, you see this here. So if you want to put the bottom panel back on, you can actually just take a USB cable, and I have one right here, and before you put the LCD on, you can push this through into it, so your USB cable can pass through here. And this is sized to fit most USB cables. I grabbed a bunch of different ones I had here, so you can actually push this whole thing in here. It's hitting the screw right now. There it goes. But you can see here, you can pass the whole USB cable through here if you're not hitting screws. Before you install this, and then pass this into the bottom of the printer, so you can have a USB cable coming out of here. So that's what we did for this one. So if you don't use it, like I'm not using it, there's just a little hole there that you can ignore. But you can see here we've got the pass-through for the SD card in the housing as well. So, and it bolts right onto the stock location. So there's actually 2 screws. There's one here, which you use one of the included screws with the kit. One here and one here that bolt into this, and then use the factory M3 screws to go into the bottom here. And there's 4 screws that go into the LCD to hold it to the bracket. So I'll show you the bracket right here. So you can see here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. The LCD goes in there. I do have an LCD here. So you can see there, the LCD mounts up like that. You put the 4 screws in it, and then the LCD's here, and you press the knob on. So, and then this just bolts onto the front like this. So there's the 2 captures for the screws that go in through the back. One there, and then we have holes here to pass your M3 screw into the threaded hole that's on the stock mounting bracket. So will there be a pre-compiled version of the firmware with and without EZABL? There will not be. The only board we do pre-compiled firmware for is our EZ board for certain configurations, but I highly recommend just look at the installation material for the firmware. It's not hard to get VS Code set up. But there's also a lot of people in our Discord too. If you're like, hey, I'm having trouble compiling, there's a lot of people in there that are happy to compile firmware for other people. So I could try to automate compiles, but it gets really, really time-consuming to compile for every board and every config, and then you'll get people that will still be like, well, I have this slight change from the stock one. Can you compile it for me? It's just easier to get you to compile firmware on your own, so that way you can do it whenever you want and not be reliant on someone else. So if I can figure out a way, here's the thing. I could get an easy board running in here very easily. The only problem is because the SD card on this, the SD card slot on this board is actually an extension. So it's an SD slot on a cable, and that cable plugs into the stock board. I could put an easy board in here. It would bolt up, and the connectors would match up. The problem is, in order to flash the firmware, you'd have to put the SD card in the bottom of the machine. So if you're printing with Octoprint, not that big of a deal. But the next phase would be to find... Clara, enough! The next phase would be to find... what's the word I'm looking for? An extension and design a mount for it to bolt up to the factory SD mounting location that would then go into the easy board. The only thing is I'm not a big fan of the SD extensions because they do tend to stress out and wear out the SD slots over time, so it could potentially damage the easy board SD slot. Why is this dog, like, barking? Like, I'm looking at the cameras. There's no one out here. At all. Like, she's weirding me out. Anyways, the Benchy's coming along nicely. I'm curious to see if we see a difference in the print quality with the same exact profile. If we see a difference in the print quality between the one with all the factory tubing. The EZABL is not really going to change your print quality unless you're having bed adhesion issues because it's so unlevel or warped. But I'm curious to see if the tubing makes a big difference. I have noticed a difference in terms of how much retraction I need to use. So, like, for example, if I have a machine that uses like 5 millimeters of retraction because it's got a really long Bowden tube like this one, I can usually drop it down to about 3. So that's one reason I put it on most of the printers. Even if I have an all-metal hot on the printer, I'll still put the tough tube on there just so I can use lower retractions. So Nasen for me is asking, he's got 2 Ender 3v2 some upgrades, he loves them. Do you recommend the Ender 6? I'm debating adding one to my printer setup. So here's the thing, my initial impressions are it's pretty good. The problem is, here's what my question is, and this is what I'm going to find out because I'm going to intentionally offload a lot of print jobs to this one, is, you know, 3 months from now, how is it going to be? Is it still going to be good three months from now, or is stuff going to start breaking on it? And if so, what's going to break on it? And I can't give you an accurate, you know, opinion on that when I just started using it. So I'm checking the ground on this stock power supply. It's actually 0.1 ohms, so that's pretty good. Normally with these off-brand power supplies, you'll get like really, really high resistance grounds. Dog, where did you get a stick from? The puppy is sitting here chewing on a stick. Nope, stay in here. Where did you get a stick from? I didn't even see you bring this in. He brought a stick in from outside. Like, literally a stick. How did you sneak that in here? You little shit. Oh god, there goes my mic pack. Oh no. The form is on again. I did turn it off earlier, but it's on. I also set up Nightbot to automatically plug the store and the giveaway whenever we're live streaming. I don't know if you guys saw that. I didn't realize it had that option until I was poking around the settings and saw it. Oh, Julio Reyes bit. He bought some more stuff. I appreciate it, man. I hope you enjoy the upgrades. I spent a lot of time on this stuff and try to make sure that we're, like, you know, putting everything together correctly. Hey, leave the beer bottles alone, you little alcoholic. You're not old enough to drink. Go lay down. Go. Go lay down. Go. Go. My puppy is turning into an alcoholic. He's trying to grab the beer bottles. Yeah, my main complaint with the Ender 6 was no access to the USB port. Like, how can you overlook that? I mean, it's a minor annoyance. It's not hard to get to. At least the port's there. And like the damn touchscreen. So I'm looking. I just opened up this Changling power supply, and I'm not making fun of it. That's the name, Changling. L-I-A-N-G. C-H-E-N-G-L-I-A-N-G. Can you guys stop? Go lay down. Go. Go lay down. Go lay down. You know what that means. Go. If you keep being a little shit, you're going to go back in your crate. Go. It doesn't look terrible. It's definitely very Meanwell-esque. I wouldn't be surprised if they copied a lot of it, but there's definitely less components in here than the Meanwell. But it doesn't look terrible. Like, the quality of the work looks halfway decent, which is good. I still don't trust these, but it's better than some of the crap I've seen Creality using in the past. Yeah, I'll probably just throw this on the shelf and save it for a rainy day if I don't have any Meanwells. That would be indeed quite a rainy day if I don't have any Meanwells. Your wife is getting mad at me. Should I just put like congrats on winning the giveaway or something on there? Well, I don't know if you know this, Follow Pad. It's not just me that works here. When you guys buy stuff, we've got a dozen people on payroll here, including myself. So, I think Samantha's still on payroll, but she's scaled back a lot on her work. But I have an SVO2 and an SVO3. Those are on the next. Those are my next on the next for my chopping block, I should say. Hey, knock it off. Hang on, I gotta yell at the puppy. You know, just saying enough in my dad voice actually makes him, like, stop doing things for a little while. No, the EZABL does not have issues in high humidity. A lot of cheaper capacitive sensors do. Ours do not. If ours had issues with humidity fluctuations and temp fluctuations, I'd be screwed because I'm in a garage here, and while I do have you know, heating and air conditioning, the humidity is all over the place and the temperature fluctuates because people are opening the garage doors over here, and then it affects me in here. So put a note in the order note. Be like, right on box, congrats on winning the giveaway or something. I'm willing to bet they'll do it. If you guys put something funny like that, I'm willing to bet they'll do it. Our people here people that work here have a pretty good sense of humor. Jonathan Bayer got his Ender 3 Dual Z kit. Yeah, we just got a bunch of those in. They just finished QC on them. We processed 250 of those in the last 3 days, and got all those ready to go out. Which, that reminds me, I have to stock the rest of them because we had... Hey, get out of the garbage. He thought he could pull a fast one on me. Well, I have you guys here. I'm just gonna go ahead and get some inventory stuff done. So the rest of the Dual Z kits, those can get stocked. Let's see here. I gotta split these off to a new purchase order. That's a pain in the ass. Our inventory system, like, is nice, but it doesn't allow me to partially receive a purchase order. So I have to, like, split it off, and then I reference the old one. But it is what it is. Alright, let's go ahead and mark these as received. Well, the Ender 3 Dual Z kits are in stock already, so... we're just adding more stock because they got processed. Let's see, how many do we have left? We only have 178. Holy shit. Yeah, we stocked 250 and we are down to 178. That's insane. Although we've been out of stock on those for a while, so I guess it's not that crazy. You guys would be... I kind of want to do a video of, like, a behind the scenes. You guys can see exactly how much, like, QC goes into shit here, because I think you'd be surprised the level of QC that we have to go through on a lot of the stuff to make sure you guys get stuff that's correct the first time. Because we're kind of like the intermediary between, like, the Chinese suppliers and the customers, and we go through and make sure everything is correct before it goes out of here, so you're not getting something and you know, you waited a week to get it, you know, or if you order stuff from China, I'm sure you guys have had the experience where you order stuff from China, you wait 30 freaking days, you get it, and, like, there's parts missing or something's not machined correctly and you can't use it. So I want to make sure that never happens here. So obviously we can't be perfect. We've had stuff where it's gone out. It's like, oh, we missed one thing out of like 1,000, and then we'll swap it out. You know, but my biggest thing is I want to make sure, even if it takes us a lot more time, and we literally have people that all they do here is QC. That's it. That's all they do. Trying to think, is there anything else I need to stock that we got in? I think that's it. Let me see here. Purchase orders. Gotta make sure I didn't make sure I don't double stock anything. Just checking the POs. Yeah, there was one that would have almost double entered that one. That would have been a pain in the ass. What's everybody up to? You work on your return orders or you work on your QC? Yeah, I'd prefer to work on the QC. Look at that, Nightbot repping the brand. I'm thinking about anybody here use Printful for merchandise, like shirts and stuff, because we stopped using them for a while because when all the human malware stuff was happening, they were just getting so bogged down. But I really liked their products. Like they were taking a month to fulfill like shirt orders and hat orders, but like the quality was really good and it integrated with our site. Like it looks like they have their shit together again. I was thinking about giving them a shot again. Not that I've had an issue with Teespring. I just like that Printful integrated directly with our website. What do you guys think? Because they had a lot more selection too. They had shirts and hats, and well, we have shirts now, but they had hats and other accessories and stuff. Ah, the Voron, the printer for people who don't actually like printing and working on the machine is the hobby. That should be their tagline. Feel free to use that. I'm just checking chat here. How are the Nanoleaf clones going? They aren't. Those plans got sidelined because of everything else going on. Although things are starting to level out again, so I would really like to do that. I bought all the hardware. I bought power supplies. I bought the LEDs for them. I bought the filament, and then things got sidelined. Okay. Oh, Timothy Lucas, what vapor is that? An old one. It's really old. Yeah, it looks like YouTube is dropping. My internet connection is good, but YouTube keeps dropping out. Can you let me love you? It's like resisting. Stop resisting. He's turning this into a snuggle struggle. Ruff, ruff, ruff. Stop. Hey, no one wants to hear you bitching. He's like, that's making noise, Dad. Yeah, it's a printer. It makes noise. Whee! Look at these floppy paws. High five. So I just sent our, well, not just, they're going out tomorrow. I'm sending the Ender 5 Dual Z kit prototypes to Tor and Mac to test out. And then I'm going to be putting those on our Ender 5s here in the print farm later this week. So, and I'm assuming I'm going to have to make some revisions and tell the supplier we got to change some stuff on it, but hopefully I can get something that's workable on the first go-around. And my plan is for those, because you guys may or may not know, the Ender 5 actually shipped with 2 different type of lead screws. One's a 2-start lead screw that requires 800 steps per millimeter. The other one is a 4-start that requires 400 steps per millimeter. So to combat that, we're just going to ship the kits with 2-start and 4-start lead screws, so you just match up with the one you have and install that one. So that way there's no like, oh, you got to select your lead screw start and, you know what you have. Let me see what other chat you guys have. It's a nice blue. Yeah, this is a Coex's blue. I like Coex's filament. It prints really nice. I hear something. It sounds like one of the belts is like rubbing, or it's something's flexing. This is what I said. I wanna run this thing through its paces and see what breaks on it. So it definitely sounds like a belt creaking. Did one of you fart or did you poop in my office? Because that smells terrible. Are you kidding me? Did you like fart and it came out? There's like a little nugget on the floor over here. Really? Really? That's disgusting. Hang on, you little shit. Like, there's like a little tiny nugget. I was like, I knew I smelled something. You little shit. Come on. Outside. You were just out. Go. Go. Fucking dogs. I was like, I knew I smelled poop. The hell? He was just outside. He took a giant dump out there when he was outside. It looks, seriously, it looks like it caught him by surprise. Like, we've had dogs where they'll just be sitting there and they fart and it's just like a little nugget. Alright, well, you guys can watch the Benchy finish up. I'm going to mute my mic, and I'm going to go make sure he poops, because it was seriously like a tiny little one. Like, it wasn't a full poop. Oh, no, it was the dog. If thank God there's not smell-o-vision. It's not good. I don't know if the mic reaches out here, but Houston, we have liftoff. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I'm willing to bet that one caught him by surprise because he went out there and he had to go, but he didn't You didn't go to the door. All right. Let's take a look. So same G code. Basically the only thing that changed, we added ABL, but ABL is not going to change your print quality. But we changed the tubing, so is there a difference in the print quality? I would call it negligible. I mean, this thing already printed pretty damn good to begin with. I'm trying to see if there's any difference. Yeah, I can't tell the difference. Maybe a tiny bit on the corner here. Okay, like here's a little one. You can see, because I didn't change. It's the same G code. So this one had the tough tube. You can see there's a little more stringing here going on, and it's not present on here, but it's not going to be like a dramatic night and day difference. I just like putting that on there so it's one less thing I have to worry about in terms of tuning my machine. But I'm definitely going to spend some time with it. I got this, I'd say this profile's pretty good. Did my microphone reach all the way out in the backyard? I turned it on. And we had poop tail. If you guys have dogs, if you do, you should know what poop tail is. Let me look at my profile here. What can I tune? I can definitely drop my retraction down. I can probably go down to like 3. I'm at 5 already. Where are the dogs? Clara's here. Remo! Hang on. Get in here. Get out of the garage. It reached. That's surprising. All right, so I'm gonna leave this at well, obviously my nozzle diameter is 0.4, but I changed this to 3. He keeps going back in there. I'm gonna have to shut the door. Hang on. All right. So let's see. What kind of stuff could I tune on here? I can definitely lower the retraction. Top and solid bottom layers, those are fine. I can probably bump up. I can definitely bump up the XY movement speed to 120. That is set to 80. I wonder how fast I can run this sucker. Although I have a feeling we'll hit a limitation with the cooling. Let's do this. I'm going to make a second profile. I usually do this. I'll make a second profile that's the same settings aside from the layer height. I know you can change it here. I just do it this way. That's how I've always done it. Let's see. I wonder how fast... Let's see. Just for like a draft print. Like... How fast can we push the thing? Let's see if it'll do just, if it'll do just straight 100 millimeters a second. I'm going to put my feed rate back to 100. I'm going to wrap this up in a little bit, but I am curious to know if it will do this here. Put that on the SD card. Exported. It's a 0.3 layer height, so let's see. Let's go here, PLA, preheat, and we're going to go ahead and let's get this auto-homed. I'll start the print. Print calicat.g code, yes. I love the calicat test print. I gotta see if I stored my Z offset. I should have. Store settings, let's see. Z offset, baby step, yep. It's in there. Alright. While we're heating up, let's see. Which fans are the loud ones? So there's like a little 4010 blower fan in the bottom that cools the board. That one's kind of loud. This is a 4010 24 volt. This one's the same fan that they use under 3, so it is kind of loud. But yeah, there's a 4010 in the bottom, but it's a blower. It's not like an axial fan like these. It's like a radial blower fan, not this style of 4010, or not. It's not a 4010. Sorry, a 4020. It looks like. So I'm sure ideally someone could probably, although I'd probably leave that one. Oh, sorry. I'd probably leave that one in the bottom there that's cooling the board, just because the Creality boards, like this one's running Trinamic drivers. So the problem is, because they don't have high copper count and layer count on their boards to use the board as a heatsink to cool the drivers, their drivers tend to die fairly quickly compared to other boards. So the only way to kind of mitigate that is to have a fan blowing across the board to try to get as much heat off it as you can, because the heat sinks on the top don't do much. Why is it not probing that back corner? I just realized that. Okay, so I wasn't seeing shit when I thought that I thought it started over here and then went this way. But it is not probing all of the bed for some reason. And that's going to be a firmware setting. Let's see if we can figure out why it's doing that. Is there a code setting that I need to change? This uses the same code as all the other machines, so there's no reason why it should be doing this, but maybe I fat-fingered something? Enter 431 board, enter 6431 board, enter 6 probe mount, super fast probe. Let's see here. Yeah, no, I caught that earlier. It still had enough points to level, and it was using ABL. But the question is, why is it not probing all of the points there? And stop interrupts feature. Is it something with the Core YX thing? That's the only thing I can think of, because it is set up for Core YX, and that's the main thing that's different. But that shouldn't break the ABL config. Okay, hang on. I gotta put the dogs in the house because they're being a pain in the ass. Okie dokie. Let's see what we can figure out. I'm going to hook this up to USB. Actually, one thing I'm going to do before I go chasing my tail, I'm going to power cycle the thing. Because sometimes it could just be something stupid in the memory. I'm going to snap my lid on there. USB connected. Come on. There we go. And I'm using a power blocker with this one because we saw what happens. You cut power, it tries to surge the damn USB ports. Let's see here. Let me try connecting to this with Simplify 3D. Should be COM16, 115, 200. M503, I'm going to grab my Z offset. Okay. So M502, M500, G28. I'm wondering if there is... What if there's a bug in the Marlin code for Core YX? I could probably change it to XY, or I'd have to look at the code. Let's see what G29 does. So it should do that one and then 3 in the back. And it's not. It's stopping. Oh, it says probing failed. That's why it's stopping. So why is it not showing probing failed on the LCD screen? I'm wondering if there's too much of a... Okay, so this is not a... I think I know what setting it is. I might have one of the settings set too aggressively. Let me see here. Configuration back end. Because this bed could be too far out and it's triggering... No, probe low point is set to -10. It's not going past 10, that's for sure. Let me try, because this machine does not do the super fast probing. Let me see here. One way to find out. Let's recompile. Here's the thing. Marlin used to say on the LCD probing failed, and they would halt the printer. Why? I don't understand why this new version of Marlin. This is 207.2. I don't understand why it's just letting it continue with the print. Let's see. It wouldn't be a stream without something going wrong. It was going too smoothly, in my opinion. That's okay. We have another beer. We have a whole fridge full. So let's see. Let's rule out the probing speed, because some machines just can't do this, the 15mm/second probe speed. I mean, this bed is pretty big and heavy, so it would not shock me if this printer just can't do it and it's bailing out. Let me check the... Yeah, my eccentrics are all good. Not too tight. Those all feel good. All right. No, it's not trying to reach your locations off the bed. Not even a little bit. I know that's correct. All right, so let's do this. I'm connecting back to the printer. M502, M500, G28, G29. Yep. Do you see that? It just can't run the fast probe. It worked fine. Say M48P10, X120, Y120V2. So it just can't, the Ender 6 can't run the, well, at least mine. Mine can't run the super fast probe. That's disappointing. I'm going to see how strong that Z lead screw motor is, because maybe it just needs more VREF. Yeah, so it just needs to not use the super fast probe. Yeah, so I just pulled a 0.0009 deviation. Let's see. No, there's a good amount of torque on that. I mean, I can make this lose a step, but it's actually pretty strong. I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to run it standard probing. So let's just do a G28 again. So that's it. So if you're getting probing failed and you're using super fast probe, I do have a thing in there that says that only works with EZABL Pro sensors, which it does, but sometimes some machines just can't run it that fast, like this one. Like I said, I'm not surprised because of how this bed is set up. I mean, we're still running 8 millimeters a second on the slower probing. BL Touch, you got to run it like 4 on most machines to make it happy. Yeah, so it's... I'm just going to send it 2 more G29s. I think it's just... It was going too fast for it. So this is the slow probing for our probes. And honestly, it is what it is. I don't care enough. Yeah, so it's fine. So it just needs this printer just needs a slower probing speed. And I'm wondering what I can... I don't know if, because of how it's cantilevered on here, I don't know if I'll be able to make it do 15. The only reason the Ender 5 Plus I can get 15 out of it is because it's got dual Z motors. If this had dual Z motors, I could probably run super fast probe on it. But, whatever. It works. Did I send 3 G29s? I must have. Oops. Alright, we'll run another printout. Okay. I thought something was up. But what's weird is it didn't show probing failed on the LCD. So that's why you guys want to have a USB connection to your printer so you can connect to it and debug just like I did. Maybe I'll just throw this out and get a Voron. Lol. I do really like, I really hope this printer holds up long term. Like, I don't find any major issues with it because I do really like the design. It's a sharp looking printer. They clearly put a lot of work into it. Oh, wait. You guys ready? Because this is going to my personal print farm here. And I'm going to share the money shot with you. You ready? Ready for it? Ready? Oh. Beautiful. Beautiful. There we go. So do you guys understand what I mean now? Does it make sense about plates in general and covering your print area, not needing to cover your entire build surface? Does that make more sense now? Because I was talking to some people and they just weren't getting it. I was like, you only need to cover your print area. Like, this is a 250 by 250 print area on this printer. The bed's 290 by 290, but you can't even get to this side of the bed to print on. So, you know, if you're ever in a position where your printer has a bed size that, like, you know, we don't carry a flex plate size for, but it's close, like they have one that's close, just get one that covers the print area, you know, and just put the magnet down in the area where it's actually going to print. So, I know some people like it to cover the whole printer bed. I'm more of a form or a function over form thing. It looks like cork. I can see that. Oh, Marcel, what's up? So I had a spotted cow to start. I had a youngling for my second, and now I'm having another spotted cow for my third. We're waiting for this to heat. I'm gonna print a Cali Cat at 0.3 layer height, 100 millimeters a second slicing speed. $777. Oh, I like that. See what we did there. 7771. I appreciate it. I do this stuff because I enjoy it. Your OCD will not allow you. Tell your OCD to get over it. Hey, Lightspeed, why don't you go waste more money on Wham Bam? Jeffrey boy, the best way to do it is go to contactus.th3dstudio.com and use the form. And I say this because the form will collect your order information and allow you to upload files and pictures and give detailed information so that when a technician gets to your ticket, they can respond quick, and they have all the information up front. But you can always email support@th3studio.com, but I highly recommend you guys all use the contact form just because of the reason for collecting all the information, so that way there's not like additional emails going back and forth, you know, where it's like, okay, can you send me your order number? Let me validate your order that you're actually a customer. Oh god, my mic is snagging on here. I'm trying to baby step. Baby step. Is this Z-motor driver overheating? My Z-motor just gave out. Look at this. The Z-motor just stopped working. What the fuck? I shit you not. I was baby stepping and it just stopped moving. Look at this. What the shit? Did my board Z driver just take a shit? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Holy shit. You gotta be joking. This barely has any print time on it. Doesn't feel that hot. What is this? I'm pretty sure these are 2208s on here. Ow. Are you shitting me? Come on, Creality. I really wanted to like this. I don't smell any magic smoke scent. But the Z driver just straight up stopped moving. Seriously, I wanted to just run the stock board until it died, like months later. Not have to replace it, because I don't have... I mean, I could probably make a 427 work in here, which would be another Creality board. I could make an Easy board work in here, but like I said, the only downside of the Easy board is that I have to get up underneath it to get to the SD slot for flashing the firmware, which I print over Octoprint with their EasyPie stuff, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. But I really didn't want to do that. I wanted to just use the stock board. Like, I'm trying to think if there's any firmware setting that would cause it to shut down unless it's getting a thermal issue. Okay, if there's an issue with the Z drive, it makes sense why the super fast probing wasn't working. Do you know what I mean? If there's an issue with the Z driver on this board, that would make sense why the super fast probe was bombing out. I'm going to try it one more time. I mean, this is just my particular board, okay? It's not all Ender 6 boards. I just want to make that clear. Okay, it moved. Alright, let's try printing from SD. CaliCat, print. I feel like cranking up the VREF would be the opposite of what I want to do. Here's the thing, I haven't seen this. This is using the same firmware code that all the other printers I'm running here use. So if there was a bug that would affect the Z driver panicking while you're baby stepping, it would affect all of the machines that I'm using. I was baby stepping pretty quick. I don't ever have this issue on other machines though. And this board is basically a 422, 427. Okay, I'm gonna baby step very slow. Nope, it stopped moving again. It's like the driver's panicking. The driver's not hot. I don't think it's a heat issue. But the driver's panicking. The CR10, I feel like this issue I saw on the CR10 V2. But that was fixed in Marlin 2. Yeah, Marlin 2. Yeah, I power cycled. Is the Z motor hot? I don't think so. I didn't check that, but no, the Z motor's barely, it's not even warm. Cable looks okay. This is disappointing. Yeah, I'm not even baby stepping that fast. I'm trying to think what I could do if there's any sort of workaround I could do. There is an experimental baby stepping. I don't know if it's in the version of Marlin that we're running. Yeah, there's integrated baby stepping. The baby step multiplier is 0.025 millimeters. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I know my Z is going to be at least negative 1.2. Here, I'm moving. Okay, I'm moving it with. Can you guys see it moving? I'm moving it with the baby step while I'm not printing, and it's not panicking. So I don't think it's a hardware issue. This seems like it's a Marlin thing. Which is the first board I've seen this happen on in a while, especially with Marlin 2. I saw this happen on the 8-bit CR10 V2, and then Marlin 2 came out, and I never saw this problem again. But here we are with a different board, with a different processor. Okay, so I'm going to set the Z offset the old-fashioned way. So I'm 5 millimeters off the bed. I'm going to go down to 0. And I'm going to move 0.1. So I moved my Z says 0 right now. Go ahead, take the piece of paper. Go back to my configuration, Z offset / baby stepping, and I'm going to go ahead and start moving this down. Well, I guess technically moving it up, but moving the Z in a negative direction. How's that? Because it didn't seem to panic. Well, it doesn't seem to panic when I'm doing it. Okay, so I'm starting to grab the paper at like 1.325. 1.25, 1.275, 1.3. 1.3 has some grip. I'll go 1.325. Yeah, I'll go 1.3. Alright. Let's see. Store settings. Main menu, motion, auto home. Let's go ahead and well, print. There's shmoo on my noozle. That means other people are going to have this issue if they're running Creality's BL Touch Kit too. I mean, if this is affecting our probe, it's going to affect all probes because they all rely on the same code. I'm not sure, Marcel. Check the current ratings on that board. I don't know if that's one that they designed for 24 volts or 12, because the 12 volt machine is going to pull more amps than a 24 volt. Marlin does not care if your probe is triggered while it prints. It will not like abort the print. So here's the thing, because it's going to be doing Z correction, okay? While it's printing, so it should be using the mesh, and we'll be able to see. Z offset looks good. The Z still moving. It's doing the bed compensation. All right, let's see if it runs without the baby stepping. There is that ISR. So in Marlin, they have this new feature called integrated baby stepping, where it interjects the baby stepping at a lower level, and I'm wondering if that would get around whatever issue is affecting this. Because Z's still moving. So yeah, it's definitely baby stepping that's causing a panic. So I set my offset and it's good. We'll see if it bombs out. Because it is moving the Z motor. I can see the coupler moving, doing the correction. I'm tempted. I don't think it's a hardware issue. I mean, maybe it's a hardware issue that, like, maybe they used the wrong value for something for the driver, and that's why it's causing it to panic. Because here's the thing. The X, Y, and E all have capacitors soldered in place where the resistors would be on the output side of the driver, which is weird. It's still moving the Z. So it must not like the baby stepping. I wonder if it'll do it with the integrated baby stepping on. Yeah, so it's still compensating. Let's see here. So the driver has not panicked yet, so it is doing the compensation. But here's the thing, no matter what probe you're using, whether you're using ours or you're using a BL Touch on this machine, everybody's going to be affected by this. Cannot change the drivers. They're soldered on. And I don't think it's the drivers themselves. I think it's more of an issue. It's either an issue of the board design and someone's going to figure out a workaround. I'm going to look on the Marlin issue queue, because here's the thing. On the bug fix branch, they have a config for the Ender 6. So I wonder if anybody else encountered that issue and if there's a fix already for it. I mean, I could technically desolder the 22.8s and put like 49.88s on there. Those are 22.09s even. It's at that point I'd rather just put the easy board in there. Let me see here. Let me go on Marlin GitHub. Let me search the issues. Ender 6. Nothing for Ender 6. We see baby stepping. You're talking about the Z not moving correctly? Is that what you're talking about, Jeffy? I'm looking through the Marlin issue queue right now. It still seems to be working, so let me see if there's any open like bugs where it just where it bombs out. Well, Jeffy, you gotta see, do you have a G29 without a G28 after it in your starting code. I can't be the first to find this. There's no way. There's no way. There's other people who had this printer for... I mean, I had this printer sitting for months. There's no way I'm the first one to find this. And GitHub search is such a pain in the ass. Let me see. Marlin. Let's go to Marlin, baby. Stepping, Z motor, stops moving. TMZ 2208. Stealth Chop is destroying baby steps. Well, this is stuck in Stealth Chop mode. Let's see here. Okay, so there is a bug from January 19th, 2020. It's number 16617. Stealth Chop for Z is enabled. Try new baby step doesn't work. Initially, motor move just a little, then it'll stop moving completely. Even after the build, it won't move at all unless a reset. It was tagged bug confirmed on January 21st, 2020. So this is over a year ago. This is the same issue. People are chiming in. Minimum step or pulse. So here's the thing. I have these set to the... I have these set to the 2208s. So they should be getting the correct pulses. Let me double check here. Yeah, TMC 2208 standalone for X, Y, Z, and E, because that's what this is running. Yeah, like I said, I knew this was an old bug. The Z's still running, so it's definitely related to baby stepping. I'm just looking through here. I wonder if that experimental ISR option would fix this for that. So, some guy's saying the integrated baby stepping, if he turns this on, no shutdown reproducible. There is an option, baby stepping extra dir underscore wheat. Is that in here? I don't even see this in here. It's like a hidden code here. Someone says integrated baby stepping. So let's see if that fixes it. Because I could have it so... if the Ender... Because the Ender 6 board seems to be the only one that's freaking out with this so far. The only thing is I don't like enabling experimental settings. There's another bug fix. Z-steppers gets disabled when probe Z offset baby stepping during a print. That's what we're having. It's bug 19277. Because I don't want to be like, oh, you have to change your board to use baby stepping correctly. See, if they had this board set to actually talk to the drivers in UART, what we could do is set the Z to spread cycle mode because they're not in UART. We can't do that. Yeah, I definitely think it's a driver panicking. Well, let me recompile another firmware with the integrated baby stepping and see if that fixes the error. Night, Tommy. Yeah, it's 1:11 here. I'm probably going to kill this print because I don't want this stream to go too long. But I want to see if I find a workaround for this this bug. It's weird that this board is having it, but the 422 and the 427 don't have this same issue. I don't have baby stepping enabled for X and Y. But you know what I mean? Like, it's the same processor. Aside from a few pin changes, the boards, the 422 and the 427, the 431 are very similar in terms of their processors and drivers and everything. But I'm impatient. I want to see if this is gonna work. Z offset looks pretty good though. I mean, once you set your Z offset, I do like to check it every time I start a print, regardless if my offset's, you know, solid or not. That's just me, but this is coming out pretty good though. It's not bad for 100mm print. Definitely could use a little more cooling, but not terrible. Let's see. So that flashed. Let's go ahead and try. Let's go ahead and try to print again and see if it causes it to panic with that that experimental feature on. I've never used the experimental feature, so we could be in for a crazy time and things crash. But let's find out. For science, right? For science. Yeah, no, other than the Z step thing, it actually came out pretty good. Like I said, I really want to use this with the stock board. I shouldn't have to replace a board on a new machine. But I mean, worst comes to worst, I do have a refurbished Easy board I can put in here, which works like new. So I have one that's already ready to go, and there's 4 more that I can put together. I really wish we weren't dealing with this silicon shortage right now. Such a pain in the ass. Alright, so once it starts printing, I'm just going to intentionally like screw up the offset and see if it panics. Ooh, it's not panicking. Let's just really screw it up here. I'm going really fast. I know my Z offset's negative 1.3. No, that's actually working. It did not panic the Z. Well, okay, at least there's a workaround. So the bottom layer is going to be completely screwed up on this, but let's see if it. Good night, Jonathan. So I enabled the in Marlin in the configuration _adv.h. There's this integrated baby stepping. You see it says experimental integration of baby segments into separate ISR. What I might do, I would assume all these boards are going to have the same issue. So what I guess I'll do is we'll just start making a list here. So I just write this code in. So if enabled the Ender 3 V6 board, or Ender 3 V6 431 board, we're going to go ahead and just automatically enable the integrated baby stepping. So that way this only turns it on this particular printer with this particular board. But hey, if that's what we got to do to get it running on this board, if it works, it works. Let me just compare my code. Yeah, I didn't change anything in here. It's just going to be a back-end file. The only difference should be the back-end one. Yep. Which should be this line here. Alright. Well, at least there's a workaround. Oh, my mic is dead. Sorry. Yeah, anyways, so here's the release, new printer support, so release 2.25, we're going to tag this with the version, and now I need to run through my scripts here. Unified 2 zips, so we're going to get rid of these. Make new zip files here. Josie and I've got a quick question on my current firmware. Set my fan output to be controlled by extruder auto fan temperature. Made a splitter run 2 fans off it. Would that cause any issues? Just stay around half an amp for the 2 fans. 2 fans usually only takes about half an amp, so you're probably fine. Alright, so I'm just put a note here because the EZBoard wasn't affected by this, so we're not going to update the EZBoard binaries. EZBoard effect not. Because people are like, why are the binaries only on 224? Because it didn't make any changes to the EZBoard, so why update the binaries if nothing was changed for the EZBoard? Alright, so there we go. I got my markdown. Let's see if the stream goes to shit, because I got to upload 1.5 gigs of files to GitHub here. So these are the packages. While I'm doing that, I can go in here and I'm going to need to update any downloads that use the 42X board. So this one needs to get the URL updated. This one. This one already has the latest one. I think it should just be 2. The Ender 3 Pro, the Ender 5 Pro. Yeah, because those are the other ones. Okay, so I got to update the URLs and the Ender 3 Max. So I just got to update the URLs because it's 1 letter off. So I need to edit this. So instead of 42X, it's just 4X. So these links will be broken for a little bit, but people will live. Update. Okay, so that should be Ender 3 Max, Ender 3 V2. Yeah, so it'll just bomb out because that package name doesn't exist right now. I don't know if I can rename. Can I rename these? Oh, I can. Aha! Okay, so those links will... There we go. So those links will work now. Let's see. They should work. Although we use caching on here, so is this going to the... It is going to the new one. Ha! Okay, no broken links. Alright. So we'll just wait for this to upload, and we'll go back to watching this print. Seems to be doing fine. So yeah, this will use the new that new ISR feature. Hey, if it works, it works. I'm happy with that. Now remember, the bottom layer of this is going to be kind of screwed up because I was messing with the offset to see if it would break it, but it did not break it. Night, Sean. What really gets me is why is this board affected by it, but the 422 and the 427 are not, because it's the same processor. The 427 uses TMC 2225s, which are 2208s in a different physical package. And the 422 on the Ender 3 V2 uses 2208. So why would the Ender 3 V2 not have the same issue? Unless it's a physical difference, like they have different components driving the stepper drivers on this board versus the Ender 3. And it's a combination of the software settings and the hardware design that are causing the problem. I don't understand why they didn't just do like an SD extension, just use the 422 or the 427 in this printer. Like, why make a whole nother board that's slightly different? That I don't get that. But then again, I don't run Creality, so I have no idea. Yeah, the Z's still moving fine. So that experimental ISR feature seems to be working to fix that. I believe that's why that feature it was in there, was to fix problems like this. I just changed over to the Self-Isolation Stockpile album. Hey, look at that. I guess it is a 3-hour stream. I said I was going to cut it off at 1 o'clock, but then we found a bug. What's important, though, is that we worked through it. Someone said that people were complaining about creaking and stuff on fast X, like diagonal movements. I'm getting that on here. I hear it. Like it sounds like a scratch. Am I still flying drones? Not as much as I used to, but yes. I took mine out and I went through a couple of 4S packs on my 5-inch. How many of you guys watching have the Ender 6? I'm just curious. Like I said, I like this machine. I don't know if I would call this like a software bug or if it's just hardware or both. But hey, the experimental ISR fixed it, so I am thankful that that is there. I'm surprised the how's the stream looking for you guys, because I'm uploading larger files to GitHub and it's probably maxing out my upload. Let me check my router and see. Curious to see how much bandwidth. We're probably maxing out the upload right now. Although I do QoS on my network, so it's probably throttling GitHub. Yeah, so my plans for this are, because I want to put it through its paces, I'm going to put it on my shelf there. I think Woody is going to be the one to retire because that's the one I use the least. The only thing is this going to physically fit? I know it'll physically fit height-wise, but width-wise... Oh, because it's got the spool on the side, too. So I need, like, 26 inches. Ooh. I could fit it, but my my whiskey collection is gonna have to move. I don't really have any other place to put it in here other than where Woody's at. I might have to move the whiskey collection. Well, while we're waiting for that to go, I'm gonna move all this filament that's got to get out of the way so I can fit this damn thing in here. This is all the white PLA I bought for the NeoPixel or Nanoleaf project with the NeoPixels. There's crap in that drawer. There's some crap in this drawer. That's full. I really need to inventory my filament. These are all full of filament. This one's got crap from my VR headset in it, and this one just has other random crap. So this is now the random crap one. Is this top one here. So I can fit more filament down there. Oh. All right. So that'll give me some more room down here. So I can move my whiskey collection down, move the humidor over. I found my HTC Vive. Forgot that was down there. Should put that here so I can actually use it. Does that mean I need to update your firmware on the Ender 5 with a change? No, this only is the Ender 6. I've not seen that issue on any other machine other than this one with this board. We're almost done. One last couple layers here. Alright. Gotta move my whiskey down. So I can make room for the printer. My little thing that holds all my lighters and stuff does not fit down there, though. It's okay, I got something else I can put it in. We'll make this work. I'm just running out of space here. It's okay, I got this. I got this. Gotta work with what you got, you know? Alright. Cool. Now I got room for the under 6. Can move my humidor over to the right. Make sure I can still open it. There we go. Although I could move the humidor to the left because it's got the door's got to swing open. Oh, you know what? I should move it. Oh, I should move it to the left because then the spool sticks out of the side of the shelf. Okay, everybody say goodbye to Woody. I don't know what I'm going to do with him, but he's no longer going to live in my office. If somebody wants to give Woody a loving home and you live in the area, let me know. I'll sell him for $100. He prints. I just have no use for him. Speaking of printing, it looks like the under 6 is done. Let me let that bed cool for a sec. I'm just going to wipe this down because it's quite dusty under here. Woody even has a camera on him, and I'll leave the camera on there too. Alright. Let's take a look at this. Not bad. Not bad. Definitely ready for me to put it through its paces. How's that look? That came out pretty good. Only a tiny little string there. Now remember, I'm only running 3mm retraction because I changed the tubing out. I can lower my retraction quite a bit versus the stock. There we go. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make... I'm going to rearrange my stuff over here and put the printer up there. Will that even fit? I'm going to be pissed if this doesn't even fit. I just realized this. This has quite the clearance. 32. I've got 28. Where will 28 put me? You know what? It's going to push down on it, but... Shit. Can I fit the Daedalus over there? I can fit the Daedalus over there. 28. Can I get 28 in here? Yeah, I can. Okay, I guess the Daedalus is going to go over there, and the Ender 6 is going to go over here. So it will be printer shuffle time, is what I'm getting at. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead before we wrap up here. All my files are done uploading, so Ready? Click. All right, well, it's officially released. The firmware for the Ender 6 with the LCD kit is on the site. It's done. So, yeah, there we go. That's all there is to it. So I'm going to probably put this one over there and move the Daedalus over there, because this is actually, is this bigger than the Daedalus? Where's the because this needs 26 wide with the spool holder. The Daedalus is like 25. So the Daedalus is actually smaller than the Ender 6 if you factor in the cable loom up here. So, because I don't want to be pushing down on it. But I'll figure out where to put it. I'll do the printer shuffle. So, anyways, I appreciate you guys hanging out. It's been fun. And I will talk to you guys all in the next stream. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys had fun. And as always, happy printing.